Hello. Oh my god, who's honking outside? Shut the fuck up. Anyway, hi. Sorry for being a little late. I literally did not sleep last night. I was up all night throwing up. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. I'm hoping I'm not like actually sick or something. I don't know. I'm not feeling all that great. I have zero energy. But I was able to get mods. More mods. We have a shit ton more mods now if you look in the details. But yeah, we have a shit ton more mods. I forget, did I have listening to? I do. We aren't listening to anything right now. We haven't decided what we're listening to yet. Anyway. No, it's not the Krabby Patty. No, I made the mistake. Why am I washed the fuck out? Anyway, I made the mistake of having dessert last night. I think that took me over the edge. Because after that, I was feeling not great. And then, which literally the dessert in question was s'mores. What the fuck? That shouldn't do me in. I just had s'mores. I literally just had s'mores. That's annoying. But after I had that, to be fair, I did have like 5 of them. But after I had that, I was like, and I'm done, and I'm dead. No, I have a gas range, so you can just do s'mores over that. But yeah, suffering. Anyway, so then I spent the next 3 hours after that dying, and then I woke up every hour to die some more. So good times for me last night. The fuck? Why not? Wait, Johnny, are you a ghost? Oh my god. Oh my god, is it happening to you now? Oh, baby. Stop. Why are they so cute? Oh my god, dude, what the fuck? What is going on with YouTube? The same thing happened to fucking Jean last week. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea why it's doing that. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Anyway, I have decided after this month I am definitely making a Twitch though. By the way. I don't know. What day should be my Twitch streams? Do we think? Do you know how to switch devices? Interesting. That's so weird. Anyway, let me swap over. I already have the Sims pulled up. We're gonna quickly make a witch. And then we're gonna make her a little witch house. Alright? A little spoopy Halloween witch house. So, yeah. Okay, let's see. And of course it's not up. God damn it. Come here, bitch. There we go. Woo, look at the new CAS background. I decided I actually wanted to have a CAS background because, yeah, this is what we're starting with. Huh, that's so weak. So weird. Wonder why. Anyway, you think weekends? Tuesday and Thursday for the illiterate. Those are already my stream days. Those are currently already my stream days, so I can't do that. Well, I guess Thursday's not. Friday. It's Tuesday and Friday right now. Ugh. Like, I don't know what day it is. Also, I don't know what the fuck's going on with her face. We gotta fix whatever. Girl, are you good? Let's just... Okay. There. I probably won't... I'll probably just do, I feel like I should have one day be a Fansly stream, one day be a Teddy Chan stream, one day be a YouTube stream, one day be a Twitch stream. Wait, did I ever see that? YouTube, Fansly, Teddy Chan, Twitch. And then I have filming, editing. Yeah. And then I have a day off. They did. They added it a while ago, yeah. I just realized I need to make her actually an occult sim so I don't fuck this up like I did last time. So, goodbye, queen. Alright, you're our new queen. We got goth energy already. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, I don't... Girl, did you get mauled by a werewolf, though? Because... Oh my god. Okay, we're just gonna... Oh, I got some new sliders. Okay, we're gonna make her real hot. Just get rid of that. Okay, the eyes. Oh, also we have more columns now. Yay, finally. Okay. Anyway. I don't know why they make the neck so thick looking. It, like, looks weird. I don't know, they might. Well, I was thinking, I don't know. I don't know. I could also stream on Fansly after I'm done filming on Sundays. So, I don't know. I feel like Fansly is more of a floater, but I don't know. Anyway, oh. Okay, wait, we need eyebrows. That's what looks weird. I was like, why does her face look so fucking weird right now? I was like, girl, what's going on? Okay. I have some new, stuff in I have a lot of new eyebrows for one. But I have, I feel like, which eyebrows are best for like a witch? I feel like those maybe. Those are two. Maybe those. Okay. Anyway, detail edit mode. Wait, hold on. Okay. Detail edit. Okay. I think it's... No, go back. Okay, got some sliders. I got better eyebrow sliders. I don't know if it's... Dude, I never know how to use these though. Is it in detail edit mode or is it not? Hold on. Ooh, it's not. Interesting. Okay. Is it this? No. Is it working? I can never. Sometimes the fucking things are so difficult. Figuring out how those freaking sliders. Okay, well, we got, look, I have this. We can make dimples. This one works. Give her some dimples. Perfect. Ooh, and then we have the lip slider. Make her look angry. Why? I feel like, yeah. Watch this one. That's too much. If you want to know where I got these sliders, they're in the description. But I feel like it makes it a lot more interesting. There's a lot of good sliders out there. I forgot to download the nose slider. Dang it. I feel like her nose needs to be... Trying to make her look kind of witchy. Yeah. Okay, but like her cheeks are too like, girl, you need a burger, please, please. No, go back. Fucking whore. Go there. Please, I just want to grab. Let me grab the fucking cheeks. I have to grab it from a specific. There we go. Oh my god, please. Can you? Are we not gonna let me? Oh. Okay, but no, I want there. Are we not gonna? We not gonna cooperate here? All right. Me. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Ugh. Dude, sliders do sound so good. Yum. Love sliders. Okay. There. Angie. Angie. Alright. I feel like her eyes should be... I'm gonna choose a different one. I feel like... Should we make her a purple witch? I feel like purple should be her color. Okay, let's find an eye color that's purple. No, no, no. It's fun though. I got a lot of eye colors as well. That's fun. Kind of looks like a reptile or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's fun. Okay, we've got like the split type of heterochromia going on. Okay, let's find something to listen to so I don't have to fill up the space with my voice because I'm so tired, dude. Oh my god. Let's say what are we feeling? What sounds good? True. Definitely more like an alien, the last one. I got the Sims pulled up preemptively, but I did not figure out what we were listening to preemptively. I know. I feel like true crime. Oh, does the Queen have a new video? Okay, let me look. We have Asian Kardashian flees country after murder, then offers Interpol a private jet to arrest her. Please, that's so camp. Alright, let's watch that. Do we have... We don't have... Never mind. I only have a timer. Okay. Let me pull the timer up. And I'll get you a link here. Shh, 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 Queen. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. Okay. Okay. Let's see. We got that, and alright, everyone get it pulled up, and we'll start, and then we'll play it. I am working on 1% brain energy right now, or brain capacity. Oh my god. See, I can't even fucking talk right now. Oh, baby. All of the babies being very cute. They all just ate lunch, so they're full and tappy. Oh, you have a lot? Good. You can hopefully make up for the lack of brain cells I currently have. Like, I'm actually just... No! Ugh. I can't even eat my stream snacks because, like, it's just gonna make me feel sick. Like, I should make soup, but I don't really want to have to fucking eat soup on stream. I'm gonna eat soup in between streams and upload the boo content in between streams as well. But anyway, let's start the queen. In 3, 2, 1, play.
Bada bing, bada boo.
March 1st, 2021. Shailene is working as the manager of the Glen Orchid General Store. It's a cute little 2-story shop near the water in Canada. It's almost literally on the lake. It looks like the starting point of every small town romance novel. Customers walk in, they peruse through the snack aisles, they buy their little drinks, but they also sell fishing supplies if you just want to throw a yard right outside. If you're hungry, you can buy fresh fruit, fresh produce. There's picnic tables outside and they sell full-on, full-course meals. It's a cute little community cottage shop. Shailene, the general manager, she pulls up to the parking lot
these ones are good.
6:30 that morning.
They
open at 7.
They're like,
and
got
when
like
she
a
pulls up, there's already
halo.
a dark-colored Mercedes SUV parked, perhaps waiting for her to open. It seems like they need something right at 7. So she rushes in, she's getting the store ready. 7 o'clock hits, she whips open the doors, and nobody's walking in.
She should be like
That's
a pale,
strange. She gives them more time. She
grayish
doesn't see
kind of
that
witch
couple in
energy.
the
I feel like she
dark-colored
should.
SUV walk in until 8 a.m. Another hour later. Maybe they were taking a nap, who knows? A tall man with brown hair walks in. He's trying to buy some snacks and use the restroom.
Freckles.
He's accompanied with what seems to be his girlfriend, an Asian woman with long black hair.
Pretty.
The two of them buy a few things. They use the restroom for considerably quite a long time. And then the man turns to his Asian girlfriend and says, "She's here. We gotta go." Okay, it's a little weird, but Shailene thought maybe they're meeting someone. No big deal. Later that day, she goes to clean up the restroom, and she's taken out the wastebasket when she notices that there is another black plastic bag inside the trash can. And she's like, you know what, let me just open it up. She peeks inside. 40 bullets are inside the bag. Why are there 40 bullets in here?
Look at this one.
There's
got that contour going on.
Bullets used or unused?
Unused.
I feel like she should have
who just
freckles.
trashes bullets?
That's crazy, yeah.
Clothes, she pulls them out. Tiny bits of blood on them.
I'm gonna make them not as dark, don't worry.
Blood. And then she pulls out a key, car keys to an Audi Q5, a luxury vehicle. Who just throws away car keys to a car like that? And a blonde wig. So strange. She thinks it's so strange, in fact, she immediately calls the police. She tells them everything. Okay, and ma'am, what did the couple look like? Oh, very good looking. The very good-looking couple
they
would
are,
be found for months. They're found months later in Eastern Europe. Their names are Oliver and Lucy. But only one of them comes back to Canada, Lucy. And when she lands back in Canadian soil months after this bizarre blonde wig and bullets,
you know, these ones actually could just be mold. I could have those be darker.
Taken into this tiny
that one's good.
Room.
That one's good. We're gonna do that one.
Interrogation room, and a man sits in front of her and asks her, "How's your flight, Lucy?" She responds,
teeth. Oh, I still need to download better teeth.
Not the best flight experience.
I want to give her
I'm not
bunny
used
teeth.
to sitting in tight spaces.
Bunny teeth are so cute.
The officer chuckles. Yeah, flying coach is a little bit, and I feel really bad for the officers that had to come and get me because they had to make stopovers, layovers.
Right? They're so
before
cute.
They met with you. Yeah. Before they met with you, Lucy, our service allowed them to take some annual leave time, so they got some time to see the city and the sights. They weren't that inconvenienced. She puts her hand up to her art.
Yeah, me and my mom was really concerned about that, and we offered Interpol to tell them that we'll fly them private, but Interpol declined the offer.
Yeah, we can't accept things from
girl,
things like that.
the cops, that's like a bribe. That's, you can't.
Follow the rules.
Wait, her mom wants to fly Interpol police in a private jet?
That's
Yes.
funny.
From Eastern Europe to Canada.
Ooh, we got the
Lucy honestly
finally we
just
got
felt
the
bad
goth
for the
makeup.
Canadian officials who had to practically babysit her on this international flight, flying economy. The officer responds, "Oh, thank you for the offer, Lucy, but we can't
I also don't
accept
fly
things
economy,
like that
though.
from,
Can't.
The detective looks like he wants to say, like
Ooh, that looks
suspected
good.
murderers like you. This is the murder case of what some people have deemed
Are.
the Asian Kardashian
Okay, that's good.
sisters and how one of them committed murder."
I like to just do the first makeup thing. I like to do the basic makeup, go through so I know what style I'm going for with all of them, and then I can just kind of zhuzh it based on each one.
We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support the SAFE Project, a national nonprofit dedicated to building collaboration to address the addiction epidemic, prevent overdoses, and the mental health
Ooh,
challenges
pretty.
that may lead to them. Today's episode's partnership
These are
is
all
also made
from
possible to support
Cosmetic,
Rotten
by the
Mango's
way,
growing
if you
team,
want
and we'd also like to
these.
thank you guys for your continued support.
I'm
as we
making
work
a
on our
witch.
mission to be worthy advocates.
She's a witch.
As always, full show notes are available at RottenMangoPodcast.com. A few
wanna do that
disclaimers for
one.
today's case. There are mentions of illegal substance use and dealing. There's also a brief mention of a loss of
That one.
pregnancy. So with that being said, let's
That
get
one.
started. There is a saying when it comes to going to trial for a crime. The best defense is an expensive defense. The second best defense is a free defense. And the worst defense is a cheap defense. Which has nothing to do
Yeah,
with
I
the
think I
attorney.
like this
There
one
are
best.
a lot
Okay.
of passionate attorneys who will defend their clients regardless of how much financial compensation there is at the
Yeah,
end.
go back.
But technically speaking,
No.
resources could be the most important thing in a trial. For high-profile criminal cases that's gonna go to a full trial, a top criminal defense team could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not in the millions of dollars range. O.J. Simpson's Dream Team defense, adjusted for inflation, would have been anywhere between $15 million now. The Enron executives, Ken Lay and Jeff Skilling, they paid nearly $70 million for their defense.
I think I want
There's
her
a
to
few
have
reasons
bigger
defense teams are
lashes.
pricey. One netizen states, "It's not just the attorney standing with you in court. That
That
money
one.
pays for half a dozen associates that are sitting in the office solely working on your case, researching every issue, cranking out quality motions at every possible point. It's the private investigators that are digging up every witness and shred of evidence. It's the team of 10 all-star experts, forensic experts, psychiatrists who are going to wow the jury with their resume and with the
I
way
mean, that
they
makes
present the
sense.
evidence in a way that favors your case. It's the jury consultants that are going to get the best jury panel in that box for you. That's why money makes a difference. There are plenty of
Yeesh,
public
purple.
defenders and cheaper defenders,
There we
criminal
go.
defense attorneys who have tremendous amounts of experience and are as sharp as any celebrity lawyer. But when you buy a
No,
defense,
lips are
you're
not gonna be
purchasing
wider.
individual attorney talent. You're bankrolling an army. Another netizen comments, on top of that, powerful people play with powerful people, meaning high-profile
like it's
criminal
gotta be
defense
something
attorneys
like
that
this,
get paid
but
the
I
big
want it to be
bucks
longer.
likely go to parties where the judges are, where the prosecutors are. They probably have better connections and friendships, which can
Like
help
that.
negotiate plea deals or reduce charges. Which, if
Perfect.
accurate, and there must be some truth
Exactly
to it,
what
that
I wanted.
there's so many instances of people buying innocence, it's severely depressing. Maybe a topic for another day. Today, though, we are talking about one of the most
Hello,
high-profile
girl. What
established
did I-
criminal defense
Hello?
attorneys in Canada. Liam O'Connor. He's well known in Toronto for getting defendants off for things like the attempted murder of a Toronto police officer, alleged hate crimes, conspiring to kill 2 people at the same time. I mean, you could say he knows what he's doing. He knows how to defend people. And in the case of Lucy Lee, who some people have dubbed the Asian Kardashian of Canada, he seems to be taking a slightly
Weird.
different approach. A unique
I
approach.
wonder why I did that.
He's defending Lucy Lee, an Instagram model and daughter of a
know if
wealthy
there's any
Chinese
witch hats, are
businesswoman,
there?
a well-connected,
is.
powerful
Perfect.
businesswoman. And in his defense, he states to the
Cute.
jury, Lucy is a distinctively
Alright.
flawed individual. She is naive. She's superficial.
I'm gonna make her
She's juvenile.
curvy,
She is
'cause I
entitled. She
have
is
a slider
immature,
I want-
sometimes irresponsible.
Hello?
She has terrible taste in men, which is not yet a crime, right? She is full of moral failings. She is perhaps
Hello,
the
hip slider.
stupidest
Okay, this-
person in the room.
this
or
we can do.
possibly on
But
the
hello,
planet.
I wanna.
This is what she's paying.
Can I not make her
allegedly maybe
curvier?
close to
Can I
7
make her
figures for.
curvier? want to make her
Why
cry.
not? Because none of that is a crime.
Yeah,
Okay.
none of that is a crime. And that
Hello?
seems to be the reasoning that he offers on why she tried to murder 2 people. Lucy Lee is the eldest of 3 triplets. The
Bro.
Lee family consists of the 3 triplets
Let me
and
do
the
the
2 other
hips.
siblings. I think that's
I
why
wanna do the
also
hips.
the Kardashian comes into play. It's a huge family. And Lucy is the eldest of all of them. But let's mainly focus on the
do-
triplets. It's Lucy, Caitlyn, and Jane. Lucy is the oldest by 5
You
minutes.
will work.
They actually
Why
don't
you
go
not
by
work?
the name the Lee triplets.
Why
They
you
go
not work
by
right
the
now?
Mia triplets.
Anyway,
I'm not
look.
sure why. That's what they call themselves. And I cannot exactly tell you how famous the triplets were.
Give her
It
a
seems like
fat
they were
ass.
pretty well known in the Toronto area.
Why
but
is
a
it
lot of their
not
social
letting me
medias
do
have been
this?
more or less wiped. They would post in
I don't want it to
bikinis
just be
or
curvy
other
from the
slightly
back,
revealing outfits.
bro.
The 3 of them, they're beautiful. I think a lot of people were intrigued by really pretty triplets who are also from a really
is
well-off
there-
family. There are some re-uploaded lives that they've done where they answer people's questions. And
Hello,
honestly,
I have
Lucy,
presets.
out of the entire
I do.
3, seems the most calm. Or maybe even the most shy.
Well, that's not.
During these Instagram lives, she would be the quietest. And when she responds to questions, she's not
Why do they
joking
look
around
so
with her sister.
weird?
She's not making fun. She's just kind of like, hee, yeah, oh yeah.
Can you tell them apart? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can. Yeah, but they look pretty identical.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Now, Caitlyn, one of the
Okay, no.
triplets, was actually one of
Give
the
me
44
the
finalists
hips.
in the
Okay,
Canadian
how about
branch
we
of the
do
Miss World
you?
2020 pageant.
We'll start there.
So all the
Okay.
triplets, they did pretty well for themselves. Now,
Just
side note, the
start with
triplets'
bigger
mom,
hips.
Winnie Lee. She is a
And I guess
strong
we'll just
presence in Canada.
make
She's
everything
powerful.
else.
When Lucy's parents first immigrated from China to Canada, they did not have much in their name. But be that as it may, they go on to create
We'll just
a
make her-
whole Chinese-Canadian empire.
Okay.
Her mom
First
goes
of
by
all,
the name Winnie,
posture.
and she runs this financial management business. She manages rich people's money, and in return, she makes rich people money. She is described as high profile and powerful. According to Lucy, the main
There we
bread
go.
and butter of the business
Now she's
is
curvy.
her mom would sell
Oh my
these
God, that's all I
20-year
wanted.
life
I
insurance
just wanted her to be
policies
curvy.
that would allow Chinese clients from China to transfer funds
Aish.
into Canada without being
Wait,
taxed.
what should her name be? Okay.
Which I would say, you know, is a little. I don't know if this is true. I don't know how sus it is. I don't know. It just
Okay,
sounds
we're
a little
gonna
crazy when she says it
randomly
like that. I would
go
say there are
5
pictures
times
of
for
her
the
with Justin
first name.
Trudeau. There's
1,
videos of her
2,
shaking
3,
hands with Justin
4,
Trudeau,
5.
the Prime Minister of Canada.
Her
She's
name is
hanging out
Tyler.
with China's
Let's go.
General Counsel
Okay.
in Toronto.
Last name.
She's held several fundraisers for Trudeau. Allegedly
8
as part of
times.
this campaign that was run by Trudeau's
1,
political
2,
party to
3,
seek donations from the
4,
wealthy
5,
Chinese
6,
Canadians.
7,
It was a whole
8.
thing. And they're apparently
Alright,
not
Tyler
your average
Spears.
fundraiser. During one event, there were Cirque du Soleil members performing. I don't even know how
Bro,
big of a
what?
space you would need for performers
Cirque
of that
du
caliber.
Soleil.
They're not just doing somersaults in the same 3-foot radius over and over again. So these are massive fundraisers. There's videos of Trudeau bringing her flowers.
I'm gonna try
She's
seeing if one of these
translating
cookies
for him.
will
There's
be
one source that even stated that she went
bland
on a
enough
trip
for
to
my
China
stomach.
with him, almost like a makeshift ambassador. So Winnie is not a woman who plays around, okay? She is not the type of woman to just let her children do whatever they want. Lucy describes her
That
mom
sounds
as a tiger
horrible.
mom. Her 3 girls, the triplets, they had founded Canada Youth Funding Association when they were just 13 years old. They had hopes of uniting all children to learn, grow,
Lol.
and experience. I don't know what they did, but that was the whole selling point.
The 3 triplets at
Yes.
13-year-old founded
A
a.
I'm gonna
foundation.
randomize it.
I see.
Lucy even has pictures next to Justin Trudeau at these fundraising events. I mean, her mom
Cat lover,
encouraged every
evil,
single one of her kids
and
to
geek.
study business
You know what?
and even made a deal. She said,
That's
the
perfect.
first triplet to get licensed to sell life insurance for my company is going to be rewarded big time. It said every month she would host these little family dinners that feel more like company dinners, which is very reminiscent of LVMH, if you guys want me to talk about them one day. But if one of the family members makes a mistake
Potions.
during
There we
that
go.
dinner, the whole family
Cool.
has the
Witchy
opportunity
things. No,
to
go
comment
back.
on it, just publicly
I need to
shame
choose
them.
your outfit,
They
queen.
can comment on whether or not it's mom's fault for not teaching them better, whether it's dad's fault for not
She's
foreseeing
definitely
such
a
an
witch.
event, or if it's their fault for knowing not to do something and still doing it anyway.
That
She
can
says
be
the
cute.
7 of us are like a company board of directors. Each of the 7 directors has a voice and can make decisions. Running a business and managing a family are quite similar.
我们把这个家当做一个合作社，
I
经
guess.
常我们会在一起开会，经常
I guess it's similar.
事情， 我们就让其他的4个孩子来评论，到底是爸爸错了，妈妈错了，还是你错了？所以我觉得我们家里7个人就像一个公司的董事层面，7个董事，每个人都有说话权，每个人都可以做决定。
So clearly, her kids are doing very well. Winnie would even go on these panels to talk about parenting. During one speech, she is introduced.
Oh, I did get. I downloaded the rest of the packs that I hadn't downloaded yet.
Winnie, she speaks quickly and decisively,
So we have some
giving the
more,
impression of a powerful woman.
like,
Nobody would guess that in her personal life she is the mother of 5
Sims
children.
clothes that
Many
is
people say a successful
actually
woman
getting
can't have a family. Successful
in-game.
women can't have kids. So often that now she proactively tells people that she has 5 children. Then everyone wants to know, what's your secret? Managing a thriving career while raising children. Winnie is clapped onto the stage and she says,
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening.
"It is my 5 children that forced me to succeed." She says raising
Lol.
children is all about having them try to succeed on their own. She states that when the family was much younger, they would have these family trips planned.
You know
yearly family
what?
trips,
This is the
and she would
vibe.
have each of the children plan out the entire trip, handle all the travel arrangements. Even if
We
they
have to
saw
make her a
mistake
cat,
in the
obviously.
works, the parents would see something bad was about to happen. They did not interfere.
Oh.
During one trip, she was talking about how she taught the kids to wake up on time. She says, for example, I always hear others say, "Oh, my child doesn't wake up even after being called so many times in the morning to get up." That does not happen in our family. I
Do we
told
have a
my
purple
husband
one?
that on a trip, if we have a 6 a.m. flight and our child does not wake up, we will
so
not
cute
wake
if
them
there
up.
was
The
the right
whole
color.
family will not return home instead, and they will have to beg on the streets for food. And
I
they
guess
said,
that
"Mother,
kinda
that is way
works.
too stressful. We will just
And we
wake
go for
up."
like pastel
They
golf,
set their
which
alarms and woke up the next morning at 4 a.m. In fact, they knocked on our door
I say
and
we go
said,
for
"Mom
pastel
and Dad,
golf."
if you don't get up now, we're gonna miss our flight." It's all about cultivating
Dude, that's
leadership
unhinged.
skills and independent thinking. Her husband says about Winnie, "Some say my wife is a powerful woman, but I think she is an excellent wife and
It just
the
looks so
best
cute.
mother."
Let's do that.
Winnie herself would tell
Let's
her
do that.
kids that this is a crucial time in their lives. They need to all grow up and become a
Black
powerful,
sassy
successful
cat?
woman just like
Yeah,
their
definitely a
mother,
black cat.
aka herself. So since the day that Lucy turned 17, she has been working as a financial advisor for her mom's business, which I don't
Since
even trust
17?
most financial advisors, period. But a 17-year-old financial advisor is
Crazy.
is insane. Like, maybe she's just that smart. In 2019, Lucy decides, I might just try to figure out if this is what I really want in life. So she asks her mom if she can take some time to figure her life out. Paid, of course. A monthly allowance would be non-negotiable, of course. So that's what happens. For 2 years, the triplets go on to become Instagram famous. The Mia triplets, where they would model in lingerie
hell?
or swimsuits together. They would make around $500 to $1,000 per sponsored post, which they said was not really money. It was just fun money. They like doing it more than anything, okay? One of the sponsors even sent her a free
No,
blonde
we're out of
wig
drink.
that she really utilizes.
Ooh.
Now, it
Oh, a
appears
blonde
her mom
wig.
is very supportive.
Hmm.
Lucy's mom would even go on to say this
Interesting.
about Lucy, how her eldest was admitted into Harvard. Yes, the same one that the attorney called possibly the stupidest person on the planet. Lucy's mom says, when my daughter got admitted there, I found it
That's
particularly
good.
strange. Her grades were really poor when she was young, but it's about what label you give your children. Our eldest
See if
child
any
is
of them
now
modded
succeeding
sheets
at
are good.
Harvard. I was very puzzled. I said, Lucy, why did mom think your grades
Maybe
were always not good when you were
those,
so young?
actually.
Why is it that now
Yeah.
at Harvard, a notoriously difficult school, you can get such good grades? She told me, Mom, growing up, you always told me that my grades are not good. So I always felt like the dumb one. I would just go to school and just sit there. Whatever. I'm stupid anyway. Why should I study? So I would sneak out and play, you know? And I told myself every
No.
day, I'm stupid. My daughter tells me, now this is what I want to tell others. Do not put a label on your children.
I mean, for sure.
She says that Lucy has now taken away that label and she wakes up every morning and says, I am smart. I am smart. And as a result, she's been studying. Her grades are good. The
Let's do
teachers
that.
have responded well. The
The
professors.
fishnets tie it
so
together.
I ask children, you are the best. Do not label yourself. Thank you.
At 17, I was in high
She
school.
forgets to mention that her daughter Lucy goes to the Harvard Extension program, which, okay, side note, I think any sort of education is an admirable thing. It does not matter. But it is a bit misleading that she talks about it in such a preachy way.
我跟我的 Lucy 也是我的大女儿，哈佛大学的高材生。
And again,
Is it like
this isn't
the
even a point
online
I would
school
bring
or
up,
some shit?
But she uses it to promote her businesses and to gain more influence in the area. see, look how incredible my children turned out. I'm very credible. It is at least a little bit misleading. Netizens have said about the Harvard Extension Program, quote,
Perfect.
it's a bit embarrassing. It's a total waste
Oh,
of
it's an
money.
extension
It looks tacky.
program.
It's the equivalent to taking one online continuing
Yeah,
education
okay,
class
that's
at
what I
Harvard
thought.
and then listing it on your resume. Another one writes, I'm a
That's-
recruiter and 100% it does not hold the same weight as Harvard. It's the equivalent of having a degree from Grand Canyon University because almost anyone can get in as long as you pay for it. Again, any
Perfect.
education is good education, but the way she's presenting it is goofy, okay? A lot of netizens point to the fact that there are actually really, really
Let's
good
go.
extension programs out
Should
there.
we have
I think
some-
Georgia Tech has a good one, MIT has a good one, and they say that really people only choose the Harvard Extension School so that they can say Harvard. Like no other reason really. It's not the best program out there, especially for the amount of money it costs. They say it just doesn't look great. So in this context, it does feel a little bit misleading.
That's
But
so
fine.
goofy.
The messaging at the entire speech is do not label your children. That's it. Which is a good message.
It is a good
But the courts
message.
have already labeled
I agree
Lucy
with the message.
as a killer. Lucy
But
is brought
like-
into a small windowless room in Canada, the interrogation room, and she makes herself comfortable. I don't know if she asked for it, I don't know if they gave it to her, but you see
She's
her
just
walk in, she's
chilling.
pretty smiley, and she's draping a police-issued blanket over her. Kind of like how I drape my scarf over me today. That's how the blanket is over her, but it's a full-size blanket.
What do you mean police issued? It has like police on there?
Okay,
But it looks
I
like
feel
they're
like
handing it to her.
male.
I don't think they would let
Whale.
her just wear that.
Let's do some
So she's
jewelry.
draping it over herself. I feel like her energy is more on par with the demeanor of me going downstairs to watch Twilight.
I feel like she gets a nose
It's just
nose
very
piercing.
strange. And she just plops onto one of the chairs. And she starts off by saying,
I feel really rude, and I don't want to not seem like I don't want to cooperate. And if it was up to me, I would just tell
Girl, I
you
think
guys
you killed
everything.
someone.
But my lawyer and my mom strongly instructed me not to say anything, and they said that they're on my defense while you guys are not on my defense. So I don't know. I just feel like I shouldn't say anything until I speak with them on Wednesday. I think they said that they're
No.
gonna come to me on Wednesday.
Girl.
How old is she
Oh my
at
God.
that point?
25.
Oh, okay.
Ma'am.
But she does ask the officer something along the lines of, but how do you decide who to believe?
AKA, should I believe you guys? Or should I believe my mom and police?
Yes, but also
Girl.
like, why don't you guys believe me? Like, are you guys gonna believe me if I tell you something? It's just so bizarre. This
That's
is where
so
it all starts
funny.
unraveling, and Lucy is gonna come full circle. December 9th, 2021, a man named Chin gets arrested for first-degree murder. For a murder that happened a few months ago, and Chin is so confused. Why is he being arrested? The police show him the picture of the victims, and he's even more confused now. He's like, I have never seen these people in my life, let alone murdered them. I don't know these people. I have no connection with these people. What are you talking about? I couldn't even point these people out on the street if you asked me to. The police don't believe him. They know he was there that day, okay? Months ago, a couple was found shot dead in a parking lot of a warehouse. The police were called to the scene where they found a man deceased on the floor with at least 6 gunshot wounds. Next to him was an airline ticket in his name and a torn $5 Canadian bill. On the other side of the parking lot was a single Christian Louboutin thigh-high boot.
Oh.
The deceased man's name is Tyler, and his girlfriend Jordan had been rushed to the hospital, but things weren't looking good. She had been shot in the heart. When the police start chasing all the possible leads, they find that a number was in the exact location as the couple during the shooting. Chin's. The cell
There, that's
records
cute.
show that he was there. He was there the day that they were killed. And Chin is arguing with the
Okay.
police there was no way he was there that day.
Fancy
I mean, prove it.
outfit.
They whip out his cell records. He was in fact there. This is when Chin starts sharing this very wild story of how he has a friend named... I have a friend named Oliver. Chin argues that he's
friend
known
named
for what, like
Oliver.
10 years now. They worked at the same restaurant before they were friends, and when friends ask for weird favors,
You
do
ignore
you don't
it. No.
ask questions, you just kinda do
No.
it.
No,
the
you
only
don't.
favor that was asked of Chin is he needs to swap his SIM card with Oliver's wife, Lucy. Lucy said her family tracks each other's locations on her phone, and they have this very important meeting, and she didn't want her family to know about it, so she has to leave her phone at home. But without a phone, she can't really call in case of emergencies, so he needs to swap
That literally
SIM
makes
cards
no
with her.
sense.
It's a huge ask. And the police are thinking, really now? I mean, this is very dumb, but Chin is passionately telling them, yes, it's weird, but he agreed to it because Lucy's family is rich, and rich people do weird things. I mean, what's the worst that could have happened?
What kind of
Chin
logic?
believed that Lucy would not do anything weird. Then he gets arrested for murder a few months later. He said later that night he met back up with them and swapped SIM cards again. Nothing seemed alarming. He would have never known that someone had died that night. When Oliver and Lucy are both finally arrested in Hungary, in Eastern Europe, Lucy responds,
That's cute.
"Oh, the SIM cards and all of that. I have a perfectly reasonable answer to what I thought was going on." Suddenly, she's ready to talk. Lucy says she doesn't even know what they were doing at the warehouse that day. No clue why they were meeting these people. They're friends of Oliver's. Tyler and his pregnant girlfriend Jordan were there. They're not really her friends. So she wasn't that curious why they were at the back of this random warehouse. Lucy was with Oliver in their Audi Q5. The other couple, Tyler and Jordan, arrived in their Range Rover, and all four of them walked out to the back door of the facility, and it was locked. Because of course it was locked. And they don't have the key, so it's a moment of confusion. But since it's February in Canada, Jordan says she's really cold. She's pregnant. She's gonna get into her Range Rover and turn the heat on. Lucy joins her in the car. She gets into the Range Rover, and the two of them are just sitting there.
Weird.
And Jordan asks her, "Hey, Lucy, where's your realtor?" Lucy was like, I was so confused. Like, what do you mean my realtor? My realtor's not coming. Why would my realtor be coming here? Wait, what's going on? Lucy says she gets out the car to ask Oliver what the hell is going on because she thinks her husband is lying about something again. But when she walks up to him, Tyler is screaming at Oliver, demanding, "Where's the realtor? Where's your realtor?" Oliver tells Lucy to turn around the property to see if there's a lockbox. Lucy's confused, but she starts walking away. She says she's about a football field away, and around the corner when she hears
needed
these
to have the
pop
same
noises,
hair color.
she doesn't realize what kind of pops they are. And she goes back to investigate because it was kind of loud, and she sees Tyler on the ground. But she's not wearing her glasses, so she doesn't know why he's on the ground. She just thought, like, that's weird. Yeah. And Oliver screams at her to get into the Audi. She's about to get in when she sees Jordan in the front seat of the Range Rover trying to back up, reversing straight into the building. It's chaotic. And Lucy freezes because wait, it looks like Jordan is looking for something in the car. I don't know what she's looking for. Finally, after what feels like forever, she snaps out of it and realizes that Oliver is screaming at her, "You're everything up. Listen to me. Get in the car." She finally jumps into the Audi, and that's about it. It's just very traumatizing. I mean,
Wait. Jordan was backing up a car?
in the Range Rover.
Okay, and then? What happened?
And then they just like drove off in the Audi. And then she just thought it was weird, and she thinks later Oliver went back. I don't know. She's saying it was just weird. It was traumatizing. Her belief in that moment was that Oliver had run Tyler over, probably by accident. Oliver kept bossing her around, telling her that she needs to take the stairs up to their apartment now and not take the elevator because of the cameras. But she's so exhausted, and she's terrified. They also live on the 34th floor. She remembers, so she's like, I'm not doing that.
Fuck that.
She says she just remembers squatting down in the middle of the stairwell, sobbing because she's so confused and scared and traumatized, and like, why is she walking up 34 flights of stairs? That night, Lucy says there was no way she could fall asleep. It was just a lot. She checks the clock. It's 2 a.m. and she gets on her phone and she reads an article about a shooting that said a man and a woman were shot. That was the first moment she realized that someone was injured, and she didn't even know it was a shooting until now. She shakes Oliver up, shoves the article in his face, and she keeps asking Oliver, what happened? What happened? She says, he said it was him or me. He's saying he saved my life because they wanted to kill us. He's saying Tyler's gang are gonna come after us. In fact, Oliver tells her that he basically just saved both of them, so now they gotta go. They gotta leave. So they gotta go on the run. It's not safe here.
Okay.
Tyler's gang is gonna come after them now. Hurry, we gotta go. They leave the apartment. They drive in her Mercedes. They have no plan. They barely have time to pack anything. She leaves empty-handed. He stuffs a backpack with their passports and about $17,000 in cash. Other than that, nothing. They drive until they run out of gas. They end up at the general store.
What is
they
that?
toss everything in that restaurant.
What's going on with
they leave the
titties?
Mercedes in the parking lot nearby, like a nearby little
Oh,
side parking
no.
lot. And then they take a taxi back to Toronto.
They're
From
not that big, are
they take
they?
a train to Montreal, but they're running late, so the taxi driver is like, I'll just take you there to the airport. They pay $400 in cash. Then they board a flight directly to Europe. First they land in Germany, then they catch a connecting flight to the Czech Republic, where they meet up with a guy named Martin. This is what Lucy's saying. She's like, I
Bro,
don't
what
know Martin.
even?
Lucy's never met this guy in her life.
Okay,
this is
that
supposedly
works.
one of Oliver's European business partners, but that means nothing to her right now. She said she was just so scared out of her mind at this point. She even told her mom and sisters to leave at the house in the middle of the night. Just leave your things, go, go, go. She was terrified that Tyler's gang was going to come after her family and everybody that they love.
Right.
She's telling her family to flee?
Yes, because the gang is very dangerous, she said. Now, side note, because some reports state that while she's basically a fugitive running from the law in Eastern Europe, her family members are sending her hundreds of thousands of dollars. So they must believe her story. Now,
Okay.
regardless, they spend a few nights in the country before traveling to Slovakia. Oliver's dad picks him up from the airport, and that night she remembers waking up in the middle of the night from frantic calls from her sisters saying, "There's arrest warrants out for you and Oliver." Lucy and Oliver wake up Oliver's dad, who tells them, "You need to leave. This is the first place they will be looking for you. You need to go." Lucy does just that. I mean, she's terrified. She said, "I'm just in shock at this point. I never thought I'd be charged with a crime." She keeps asking Oliver what the hell happened because it's just not adding up. But he refuses to respond. He just keeps saying self-defense. It was me or him. They get into
Girl.
Oliver's dad's work truck.
Don't fall
Lucy's
for that.
Chinese. They're in Slovakia. She sticks out like a sore thumb, so she's hiding in the back truck. I mean, they basically have to hide away in an apartment that belongs to Oliver's dad's friend. She said she called her mom right away, and her mom is hysterical,
Bro.
screaming, and Lucy is hysterically crying into the phone. Lucy's mom is demanding Lucy come home right away. They can talk to some lawyers about talking to the police and explain everything that happened. But of course, that's not a plan that Oliver liked. That's what Lucy says. He refused. He did not want to turn himself in. It's not even an option here.
Lucy's
I
mom
feel like she
is
had to know
still in
more.
Canada.
Yes.
They did not flee the country.
No. They're like, "You need to come here and you can explain this to the police." The next morning, she
What
wakes
is
up
her
to Oliver
outfit?
speaking to these two guys. Who are they? She's told that they're part of Europol police. European Interpol, basically. And they have cars with diplomatic plates. We're Paul and Milo. She said those were their names. Lucy couldn't understand a single thing they were saying, but
What
Oliver
were
was
the
translating for her.
rest?
And Oliver is telling her, "You think Tyler being dead means we're safe? No, you don't even know how dangerous this guy is. My dad had to get the European police to get involved.
So weird.
That cost just over $250,000. And we might need to transfer more money. They're trying to save us. They're going to help us not get caught because they understand how corrupt the Canadian justice system is. So we're going to stay with Paul and Milo in his apartment. Now, on a few conditions.
Right.
We don't get to have access to our phones.
These socks,
We will get
why?
fake passports, which is the only way we can travel now. And we will only be driven around in these military-looking vehicles with diplomatic tags, and they're going to drive us into a safe house in Hungary. And
Safe house
that's where we're
in
going to be.
Hungary.
This is how they live for the next 2 months. It's not until May 15th.
This is so
Lucy
ridiculous.
says she gets her phone back and discovers that the international warrant against them is gone. She doesn't see anything else about it now, which means she can go apply for a Canadian passport so she can go back to Canada. The Canadian
Girl.
authorities, unbeknownst to her, are already waiting in Budapest for her. They've been tracking her through Interpol, and now she's just revealed herself.
It does
People
feel
are
like a
arrested
soap
immediately
opera, and
outside
also
of a
I'm like,
church, but they weren't actually going
she's
to
not
church.
very smart.
It's like a busy street in Budapest that's known for their wild nightlife, so they were likely going out for the night. And Lucy decides to immediately head back to Canada with authorities. She's like, "My mom can send us a
Socks,
private
I
jet."
can't.
And they're like,
Do
"No,
normal
we're
socks.
gonna fly economy." And she's like, "Oh my god, I've never flown economy." She's like, "I only fly first or private," basically, is what she said. Maybe not verbatim, don't sue me, but the gist. Yeah, the gist.
Priorities.
Yeah. So she goes back to Canada with authorities while Oliver decides
She's
to
like,
stay
"What the
and
fuck?
tries to fight extradition.
We're not flying
This
at
is the
least
story
first
of how
class.
Canada's most politically well-connected family's daughter ends up as an international fugitive. I mean, it's just wild. So one of the more annoying parts of all of this is Lucy states in her whole version, first version, is that she wasn't even supposed to be there that night. She had dinner planned
yet,
at her mom's house, but
there
she
you
only
were.
agreed to go with Oliver to that stupid warehouse because he asked her to drive her that night, and Oliver told her to do this weird thing, very weird thing, and she just went with it, which was to switch SIM cards with a friend of his named Chen. you know? So she kept her device.
Right.
But if you called Lucy that night, it would ring in her apartment on Chen's phone, and if you called Chen, it would ring on Lucy's phone. Lucy thought it was strange, but she didn't think it was strange enough to question it further, or I don't know, not do it at all. So she swaps SIM cards with him, and Oliver fully leaves his phone at the apartment, and they leave. I mean, to be honest, she mainly went with him after their fight because she wanted to make sure that Oliver wasn't going to cheat on her. That's why she ended up at that warehouse. It's kind of an unbelievable story, right? Maybe, perhaps. I mean, a few things definitely don't add up with what the police found at the crime scene. A lot of things don't add up at all, and some parts of the story just don't make any sense. It's just nonsensical. But who's going to argue her story? Both victims have been shot. Oliver's not opening up. In fact, he's fighting with every random excuse in the book to not leave Eastern Europe, and it's just Lucy, the credible daughter of a wealthy business tycoon in Canada who has millions of dollars at their disposal to hire the best defense. Who's gonna tell them that this story isn't true? Regardless, the truth of the matter is Tyler was shot 6 times. He was murdered. Jordan was shot 3 times. Only 1 bullet hit her, but it went into her heart. She was supposed to die that day.
Did she not?
She didn't.
Oh shit!
After spending 3 days in a coma and a bullet taken out of her chest, Jordan wakes up.
Yo!
And she's got a lot to say. Mainly
Holy
that
shit.
Lucy is a big phony liar. She states that she remembers everything that happened that night very clearly.
Oh my god.
3 days ago, February 28th, 2021, Jordan remembers showing up to the warehouse with her boyfriend Tyler.
Dude, that's
Tyler
a fucking
and
plot
Jordan were gonna
twist.
meet with this couple, Oliver and Lucy.
That's such a
where they were
fucking
gonna see
plot
if this
twist.
warehouse was a good fit for a business opportunity, to rent it and use it as a marijuana growing operation. But when they get there, the realtor isn't there and all the doors are locked, which is very annoying. They have to wait for the realtor now in the cold. Tyler and Jordan get into the Range Rover to wait. They turn on the heat. Jordan is in the passenger side. Tyler, her boyfriend, is on the driver's side, turns on the car for her. And then he waves over Lucy and is like, hey, come sit down, it's cold. So Lucy slides into the driver's side. Jordan says Lucy won't even look at her. She's just on her phone.
I feel like I
she's
should have the hat on
texting,
for this
but she's
also.
acting very nervous. It's like the lack of eye contact is a little bit strange. It's not even like she's distracted or just bored. It's like she can't even look at her.
Not for
Jordan
that.
tries to make some light talk. How's your weekend? Good, fine. What did you do? Nothing, we drank on Thursday. Then Lucy just states, oh my god, you're dressed so pretty and I'm just like a bum. Which, you know, now that she says it, it is weird. Jordan is thinking Lucy told them that they have dinner reservations after this warehouse for 4 at this fancy restaurant. So yeah, now that she brings it up, she is severely underdressed for that. But Jordan is polite. She doesn't say anything. Jordan just says, but when she comes into the car, she just can't look at me, which I thought was strange. Eventually, she gets out of the car, and now my car turned off because the driver's side door had closed. So I guess the car thought it was off, or that everybody had left. So she slides. She doesn't exit the car. She just slides over from the passenger seat to the driver's seat while being inside and turns the car back on. She said that's when she looks up at the side, and at the passenger side window where she had just been sitting, Oliver is standing there, glaring at her, pointing a gun at her. And she said, I couldn't move, I couldn't talk, my mouth was wide open, he's pointing a gun at me, he was shaking, and his eyes were bulging, and then he says, get out of here, Joe. But I guess he doesn't give her the chance to do that, because the last thing she remembers is gunshots going off. Jordan said she heard Tyler's last words, and Tyler had said, Oliver, what the bro? So Oliver had shot Tyler.
Why?
Jordan's first instinct is to put the car in reverse to try and get out of there, but as she's flooring it, she hears multiple gunshots additionally go off. She had been shot. The car slams into the warehouse, reverses. There are clear holes in her memory from the trauma, but she does remember seeing Oliver dragging her out of the car and throwing her onto the cold floor.
Bro, asshole.
And they both drove off. They drove off in the Audi and the Range Rover. That was Jordan and Tyler's car. And then she just remembers crawling on the road on her hands and knees, asking for anyone.
Holy
is there anyone
shit,
to
dude.
save her?
She's still conscious.
Yes, and she had been shot
Wow.
literally in the chest. Yeah, and she
Dude.
says it took an hour. And then finally she just heard a woman, and her voice kept saying, hang in there, sweetie, hang in there.
Bro.
That woman was Annette Bright. The woman had been driving down the road with her boyfriend when she saw what looked like a mangled animal on the side of the road with blood. She just kept driving, but something in her told her, just U-turn. If it's an animal, fine, you can call animal control. If it's something else, it just would keep her up at night. So she U-turned, and what do you know? It's not an animal, it's a woman on the road crawling. She parks the car, lunges out, what happened, what's wrong? And she just keeps saying, help me please, I've been shot. She could see Jordan is getting paler by the second. Annette's boyfriend is already calling 911. The woman on the floor keeps talking, but the only thing Annette could understand is, help me, help me. And then she faded out into a coma that doctors were feeling very pessimistic about, that she would never wake up again. The worst part of Jordan's story is that while she was crawling down the long driveway of the warehouse to get help, she could see her Range Rover driving back and forth on the main road with her attempted killers scanning, hunting. So it's presumed that they came back and she was gone.
Dude,
Jordan is gone.
oh my
So
god.
they're like, how is she gone? We shot her.
She got so
How is she
fucking
not
lucky.
dead?
Holy
So I think she
shit.
crawled into the bushes, and she just remembers seeing them driving around looking for her, practically hunting her.
Bro.
She's also said that she could
That
hear them
is so
fighting
fucking
and arguing.
scary.
She could hear one of them saying that, no, for sure she's dead. And
There
the
we
other
go.
one said, well, we just need to make sure.
Wow.
After about an hour, they leave without finding Jordan, and that is how she's able to get help.
Dude.
Which, who is Jordan, and why would someone even want her dead? Why
Yeah,
would someone
why were
kill
they
her
trying to kill
boyfriend,
her?
the father of her unborn child, Tyler? Tyler can make up to $1 million a day, running what seems to be a cocaine empire. I mean, I don't know if empire is the right word, but $1 million a day, that's not a side job. That's corporate monopoly level money. Jordan says Tyler was not a, quote, street-level dealer.
Right.
He would help import cocaine into Canada and sold it to other dealers. So he's at the top of the food chain, if you will. But she says they weren't in as dangerous of a position as the street-level dealers because one of them had been killed once, but Tyler doesn't really have enemies. He's just overseeing and profiting and helping smuggle in the cocaine. Side note, a quick disclaimer, Tyler is a murder victim and absolutely nobody should be murdered. I think that much is very clear. But it would be a bit strange for me to not address the fact that his occupation is likely indirectly harming a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it's just very tricky. Now, Tyler was trying to get out of this underworld business. He keeps trying to use his funds to create legitimate, hopefully tax-paying businesses, a diamond company called Hard as Diamonds, as well as a wellness weight loss supplement brand called Elite Organic Nutrition. Jordan would say he just wanted out of the cocaine life. We wanted to have a family and be normal and escape that negativity. He just wanted to be a more legitimate businessman, especially since he has 3 children that are growing older, and Jordan, his longtime girlfriend, the one who was shot, is pregnant with his 4th child. She's 14 weeks pregnant. So a more legitimate business would provide a sense of security for everybody. Now, Tyler and Jordan have a friend who introduced them to a guy named Oliver Knox. This rich kid with rich parents, but his parents are also very powerfully well connected in Europe, was the story that they were told. And he has all these businesses that integrate European contacts with Canadian contacts. And this is during the pandemic. So Oliver's new business plan is they know people in Europe who sell hospital gowns, syringes, and face masks, mark up the price by a ton. That's how they describe it, since hospitals need it right now, and it's just printing money in Europe. They're just printing money. They have a factory in Europe that makes it, then they sell it to the European hospitals. And they're looking for investors.
Like medical.
Yeah, it was in Canada.
Tyler and Jordan invest at first $170,000, which is a lot. But eventually, in total, they invest about $500,000. Crazy. Now, Jordan says, we were expecting millions in dollars of profit. After our initial investment, we put in the 170, then another 300 to get more trucks so the money would come in faster. We wanted to roll the money, which looked very feasible. Their share of the profits would be close to $3 million. Now, this is the part that they're struggling with, is bringing that money in from Europe to Canada without raising a bunch of red flags. Because once you bring that kind of money in, first of all, it's difficult to transfer that amount. But secondly, once you bring that into Canada, it's going to be heavily taxed. And third, once they tax it, they might be like, how'd you get this money? You explain, oh, I invested in this mask business. How much did you invest? $500,000. How did you even get $500,000 when your tax returns show that you don't make any money? because they're not making legitimate income.
Lol.
It's not an easy transfer. So the day of the shooting, the couple were going to meet
Just
Oliver
make
and
money
Lucy at the
legitimately.
warehouse,
That
and
shit's
Oliver
so
had this whole
stressful.
business plan,
Like,
find a
ugh.
warehouse. Lucy would be perfect. Her mom has lots of connections, and they own lots of warehouses, and they have powerful realtors that can get them a good deal. Then they start a legal marijuana growing operation. And from there, I'm sure that Tyler can get more of his money out. Maybe he'll get more of the profits of that, and Oliver and Lucy will take the European profits because it's easier for them to get the money into Canada. You know, that's why they showed up to this empty, abandoned warehouse in the middle of this industrial street. But the problem is, Oliver has no plans to pay the couple back, let alone give them a share of the profits. In fact, Oliver Knox is not Oliver Knox. His name is
Dang
Oliver
it.
Carafa, and he's already
Skirt.
killed someone before.
Glitched out fucking skirt.
What?
Oliver tells lots
He's
of
already
lies.
killed someone?
The first about
Bro,
being
what?
the mask business. It's unclear whether or not Oliver himself is in the mask business or if the entire thing is also a lie. But one thing is
Oh,
for
man.
sure, he's not giving Tyler his money back. He starts making up all these excuses on why they can't get the money back, and every question Tyler has, there's a long-winded explanation, long-winded excuse. Even the meetup at the warehouse, not real. To lure Tyler and Jordan out, where Oliver shoots them both and goes on the run with his wife Lucy. They flee the scene within 48 hours. They're in Europe on the run as international fugitives. They are not located for 3 months. When Lucy finally comes back home, Oliver does not. When they're both arrested in Hungary, Lucy comes back immediately. She does have to fly commercial, but nevertheless, she comes back to Canada. Oliver does something fascinating.
She does have to fly commercial.
He files a petition with the courts in Hungary stating that if he goes back to
Okay, there we
Canada,
go.
because the Toronto police are so corrupt,
Same
there
vibe.
would be no way he will get a fair trial. They would do something shady. He argues to Hungary. His life is on the line.
There we go.
Oliver Carafa has no plans on going back. He even hires PIs to look into Tyler Pratt
There
to
we go.
show
Cat
the
time.
Hungarians, like, hey, look, there's a lot of drug dealing going on in Canada, and they're gonna kill me. The gangs are gonna kill me in the prison. You don't know the prisons in Canada. Yeah, he says, because of his extensive criminal connections and his associates want to avenge his death, my life is in danger. He alleges
Black
he will never get a fair
cat. Just
trial.
black cat.
Hungarian authorities relay back. Criminal relationships are not bound by national borders, which means that the accused would not be safe in practically any country in the world. The court therefore establishes correctly and lawfully that the conditions of the extradition have been met and orders
just
the
do black
arrest
cat.
for surrender of the accused.
Like
AKA, he's gonna get extradited. But then he tries to stop that, and he's like, Slovakia, my home country, can you please try and help me? But that doesn't work either. 8 months later, he's sitting economy with Canadian officials. It's likely that his whole plan to stay in Europe was not because he truly believed the Canadian justice system is corrupt. I mean, how could he? He, like, got 5 years for killing someone before. We're
there
gonna
we
get
go.
there. But allegedly, it's
was
been
like, why
said
is
that
it
he
so
believes
fluffy?
Hungary would have been an easier place to bribe corrupt officials.
I feel like black cat's usually
In
skinny
Canada.
cat.
Lucy did not care. She did not like the prisons there. Her mom does a press release when she's back to Canada, and her press release is the family is shocked, disturbed, and puzzled by Lucy's involvement in the tragic incident. They state that they are sure that Lucy would not be involved in such an incident voluntarily and would not do such a ridiculous thing. They say, we can hardly imagine the shock and anxiety Lucy experienced after the incident. They beg Lucy to cooperate with the authorities. Which, yes,
So Oliver killed Tyler because of money,
yes,
but Lucy is rich.
yes. That's also her defense. So now we're trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Is she involved? Is she not involved? Right? Now, side note, Lucy talks about her time in a Hungarian prison while waiting to be extradited. She said every single day she was only given 5 slices of bread and 5 cigarettes. No other food. She said everything cost money there, even
Okay.
sanitary products, and she didn't have money to be put into her account.
Black whiskers?
Now, I don't know how Canadian jails compare, but she's not someone that's gonna withstand any sort of prison because she does make Canadian
Maybe that
bail
one.
somehow. The bail conditions are probably the most rigorous I've seen. The conditions are this. Lucy will be allowed
Those two
on bail
black
for
whiskers, I feel
$2.7
like.
million. Her bail is paid out $2 million by her mom, $200,000 by her friend, and another $500,000 by another second friend. Now, I thought that was weird because, first of all, that is very crazy for a friend to put up that kind of money. Now, another thing is, why wouldn't her mom just pay it all if they're so wealthy? There's a reason, because under the rigorous bail agreement, Lucy has to be under watch 24/7 by whoever has participated in putting up her bail. They practically become her guardians. If she has to go to the doctor's appointment, it has to be with one of her 3 guardians. She cannot have friends over, but she can have her 3 guardians over.
Want to make him smile,
Wow.
kitty.
She cannot go to social engagements, but she can stay with her guardians 24/7 and hang out with them. So it's likely her mom didn't want to babysit her the whole time and Lucy wants to be with her friends. One of them even moved into the family home to, quote, watch over Lucy. In addition to those rules, Lucy has to wear a GPS tracker at all times. She cannot have any visitors in the house other than immediate family. She can leave her house for exercise with her ankle monitor on, but
There
she
you
can
go.
only go within a 1-mile radius of the house at all times, and only for up to an hour per day. The only time she can go further from a mile is when she has a court-approved medical appointment or to see her attorneys. That is it. She cannot even use the
There we
cell
go.
phone. She cannot use the internet without supervision from one of her
Keep
guardians. And lastly, she cannot apply for a new passport, which honestly doesn't sound so bad when you're quarantining in your parents' likely multi-million-dollar estate with your 2 besties, but she still breaks bail.
Okay,
Because
do we have an outfit?
before the trial starts, it stated that she went to a party.
Keaton.
She was rearrested and then re-released on bail
No,
again.
it's wear normal sweater.
But
With
she,
her ankle monitor, she went to a party?
yeah.
Wow.
The trial is going to be a joint trial with
Ooh,
both Oliver
perfect.
and Lucy on trial for murder and attempted murder. And so there's 3 arguments. One from Lucy and her team, one from Oliver, and one from
And
the
Big
prosecutors
Paw,
in
they're so
Jordan.
cute.
Now, Lucy gets a high-profile defense attorney.
All right,
The
free
Oliver's
spirit.
defense attorney, he's a really good defense attorney, allegedly, for getting drug dealers off, but not for murder. So it seems like he's way less high-profile. And Lucy's family did not pay for his attorney
Talkative.
or anything. So there's a lot of speculations by
I feel like
netizens that if they had
curious.
the same attorney and had they stuck with the same story, they might have gotten less time.
No.
Yeah, so you got the 3 stories from the prosecutor in Jordan and then
Yeah,
the 2 other
no,
lovebirds
yes.
that are no longer lovebirds, it seems. Now, Lucy's story changes multiple times, which is not the best luck. The first time she shares her version of events, she states
Curious.
that a random stranger, a third party,
Actually,
showed
no,
up and shot
clever.
the couple. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was probably one of Tyler's enemies. And she later
Heterochromia.
changes the story to say
That's
that,
what it's
no,
called.
you're right. Oliver was the shooter. But I had no idea that it was
Okay,
going to happen.
we're
I thought he,
gonna
ran Tyler over.
randomize
was crazy.
it
And then
4
she says that
times.
she was forced to write the initial confession that an unknown man had shot
3,
the couple by
4.
Oliver. by her
Rainbow.
husband. He was like, you better write this. She states about her husband, his business wasn't going as planned. He decided it would be best to kill Jordan and Tyler before they found out and tried to
That's
kill
not the
him or
most
someone he loved instead.
ironic
sort of like
name.
a pre-planned self-defense that she had no idea
Should we choose a
about.
different name or should we go
Also,
with
just,
Rainbow?
Pre-planned self-defense is the most unhinged defense.
Also, I need to
I
get
don't know.
another drink.
She said by that point, he had told her all of that. She didn't even know that Tyler had invested in Oliver's PPE mask business. She said she knew nothing about Tyler and Jordan. In fact, she would never want to do business with them because they're not, quote, presentable people.
Oh.
She claims Tyler is very, very terrifying. He was not happy that he's not getting his money back. She said Tyler was violent with Oliver, punching and abusing him. He would allegedly threaten him. If you want to turn me into the police, I have friends
Keep
in the
it?
police.
Okay.
Before I even get booked within
And then
48
what was the
hours, I'll
last
have
name?
the Somalians kill
Spears.
everyone you love. During the
What?
initial interrogation, she's asked, so right off the bat, you're not impressed by Tyler.
Right off the bat, I say do
Okay.
not associate with these people because they're not
Perfect.
good for our social image, and because she's a known Hamilton stripper, and Tyler is known in Vancouver as like a scary gang member, according to
Do we
some
have her
mutual
walk?
friends I knew.
This is during interrogation?
Yes. Furthermore, she states that Tyler had this big business idea that he was trying to rope them into, which they would bring girls in from the Czech Republic to Toronto and Vancouver to get into the escorting business, which, for lack of a better words, she believes sounds precisely like human trafficking. Now, we don't know if this conversation even ever took place, but that is her claim. She said that she would even get into fights with Oliver about how much she doesn't like this couple. She said, I really didn't want Oliver to be associated
We like
with
it?
them.
Okay.
He knew my opinion and started not telling me when he was going to meet with them. He would downplay their communications.
Okay.
She further
Let's
alleges
go.
that Tyler and Jordan have
House
ties to the
time.
Wolf Pack, which is a big gang in the area. And when everything went down, she felt like it was an I told you so moment. She testifies later during the trial. Tyler is very, very scary and very aggressive. He scared me. He's a very big man and very scary.
I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
wait.
What is that? I told you
It's
so.
winter.
The murder?
Or let's give us some
telling
money and
Oliver,
then we'll
I
do
told you
it.
not to interact with these types of people. Yeah.
Like, this will happen. If you keep, like, yeah, murder is gonna happen.
It's just
Like, what?
her
Our
energy throughout all
budget
of
will
this
be
is on par with someone
70K.
maybe getting into
70.
an argument
She's
with
so
people.
detached from
5K.
the real world. Is
Yes.
She feels like maybe growing up, she has never faced any consequences.
Yeah.
So her attitude is literally this lighthearted.
And I think the way she speaks about all these things that happened, it's almost this very firm, I don't know where it comes from, belief that everyone's just gonna believe her and be on her side. Like,
Okay,
everyone's on
I'm
her
grabbing a
side.
drink. I'll be
Yeah,
right
I
back.
told them.
It'll take me
Don't
2
you agree?
seconds.
It's
Okay.
kind of that attitude is the vibe. And the prosecutors are not on her side. They ask her on the stand, you've been telling us how dangerous you thought it was being around Tyler and his gang connections, his drug dealing, but given that fear, you invited him into your family home? Well, it's not as high risk as being seen with them in public. She thought seeing Tyler and Jordan was worth the risk if the business would turn out well for Oliver, but now in hindsight, she says, quote, I guess I made a mistake. The prosecutors ask her, 3 days before the murder of Tyler Pratt and attempted murder of Jordan Romano, you were part of a plan to kill them, weren't you? No, I was not. What you are saying is ridiculous. It's hard to imagine doing something more despicable to a pregnant woman, correct? Correct. You lied to her face, correct? Correct. The prosecutors
this is
tell
my
her, the only
snack.
pattern that has emerged is your ability to lie and deceive and be dishonest.
Balsamic
This was a
vinegar and
carefully
basil
planned murder.
Triscuits. That's my snack
Not
for
correct.
myself.
She
Hello.
states, these people were dangerous. They were trying to kill us or something like that. I agree that there was a murder plan, but I don't agree that I was part of this plan. You don't have a moral compass. Incorrect. I think my moral compass is not right, but I'm not okay with breaking the law and committing crimes, and most importantly, I would never be okay with a plan to commit murder. Her attorney
I love
argues the
balsamic
motive for the
vinegar,
murder
too.
at the end was money, but
good.
her attorney argues Lucy did not need money. She comes from a rich family. This is Oliver's problem. This is not Lucy's issue, which is just another way to say your client is broke and mine is not. But does it actually prove anything? She also states about the PPE business, the mask making factory in Europe during the interrogation.
Okay.
I have no idea about any of that because Oliver and my relationship, he deals with the finances and the business, and he doesn't really. I mean, he tells me the gist of things, but he never really tells me the figures, what he's doing, and it's always been like that since me and Oliver's been dating. We've been together almost 3 years, but we knew each other since high school. She also argues that she does not have the best relationship with Oliver. Honestly, it was toxic. She says, I was practically his chauffeur.
How long they been married?
At this point, about a year and some change. The way they got married, okay, so 2020, the pandemic hits. 2 months after everyone, the whole world goes into lockdown. Eastern Europe is in lockdown. They're like, you know what? I don't like
trying to
being
think
at
of what
home.
kind of house-
Let's go to Europe and have some fun. So they're trying to fly into Europe, and Europe is like, no, we are not accepting anyone who does not have a reason
I think
to
it
be
should
in
be like a
Europe.
tiny cabin.
However, Oliver can go
Like a secret
because he's a
basement.
dual citizen. He's Slovakian and Canadian citizenship, right? But Lucy is just Canadian citizenship. So they say, the only way that you'd be able to get into Europe right now is if you guys were married. Then because he can go, he can bring his wife, obviously. So in the airport, they apply for a marriage license. They get a Zoom call with an officiant, get
What the
married
fuck?
so they can board their flight to a fun European trip while everybody else is fighting for their lives and people are dying.
That is wild.
What the
Lucy
hell?
is also asked why she wore a blonde wig on the way to commit murder. This was very clearly an attempt to conceal her identity in the elevator to throw investigators off because she swapped her SIM card to make the SIM card look like she was at home. Then the elevator footage does not show Lucy going down to the parking lot. It shows a blonde woman going down to the parking lot. So she could argue, what do you mean? You don't see me leaving the apartment. My phone records are in the apartment. I was in the apartment the whole time. That's what the prosecution's arguing. And Lucy is like, that is ridiculous. The truth is, the wig was from a brand deal that she got on Instagram. So this company sent her a blonde wig, and she
Okay.
would wear it while she had intimate relations with Oliver at times.
Oh.
But she got into this huge fight with Oliver the day of the shooting because she felt like Oliver was always cheating on her. And when she had seen it out and about, not tucked away, not packed, When she saw it out and about, she just assumed that he was gonna bring this wig to go cheat on her and have another woman wear the wig because he's got like a fetish for these wigs, is what she's claiming. So she's like whipping the wig around, asking him what the hell, but he argues with her like she's always crazy, you're always making up stuff. She loses it, completely loses her marbles, throws on the blonde wig. She's like, yeah, you like blondes? I don't know, okay, but she like puts it on, so I'm assuming that's what she's claiming her energy is, and leaves. Kind of like, oh yeah? How's this?
Is she leaving by herself?
Yeah, Oliver takes the stairs down 35 flights. 34 flights.
How did she explain his behavior walking 34 flights?
She said, I don't know, he's weird. Everything is like, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know anything about him. He's weird.
So when she's walking into the elevator, you saw the footage,
Yes.
right? Like, was she hiding? Can you see her face? Or
You
was
cannot see her face. She's wearing the blonde wig. She has a hood pulled over her head. She's on her phone and she's... It's just weird.
Like the way she's like hiding her face, right?
Yes, and I imagine if I were ever in this bizarre, likely untrue
I wish I could have
situation where
pesto.
we got into a fight and I wore a blonde wig into the elevator, I would snatch it right off when I got in there because I'm angry. I'm like huffing and puffing, but she's just like, her body is tight, her arms are close to her chest, and she's just standing there in the corner looking down.
Wow.
She said that she was expecting him to chase her into the elevator, but he did not. That's the story that she's trying to sell. Yeah. I mean, later she changes the story and she's like, okay, fine. I put on the blonde wig because Oliver told me to.
And my computer's crying.
And I just did what he told me to do.
And you're saying
I usually just do,
Yes, so there is an
I do toasted
allegation
sesame
or
seeds.
rumors out there by netizens that sometimes
instead
rich
of,
clients
pine
are
nuts.
the worst.
Real good.
Because they never listen to you. They think they're smarter than you. She should have just not said anything. Likely. I have a feeling she wasn't listening to her attorney's advice.
Yeah, because she was asking, like, who should I trust?
Yes. And then
My
even...
attorney told me not to talk to you, but I'm here telling you what they told me not to say.
And she just...
Oh my God.
Yeah, she would always, like, stop herself. And then be asked a question, and then she would kind of talk, and then stop herself. Yeah. Even all the different houses they stayed in Europe, in Eastern Europe, she said she thought that these were all police who were helping hide them because, I mean, it's like she's on some sort of crime thriller series getting moved around from safe house to safe house in a global network of safe houses to shield her from, I don't know what. It's a very odd story that she's selling. And Lucy does try to make up for all of it by stating, yeah, maybe I'm just dumb.
Girl.
Her attorney continues, Lucy is one of the many victims in this case, betrayed by her husband, Oliver. Oliver is the type of guy that takes her to a murder, takes his wife to a murder he knew obviously he was going to commit. Lucy finally developed a bit of a backbone after spending years being Oliver's doormat. Oliver has had far too many victims in his life, including among the many victims is Lucy. I ask you not to let him take one more down. Oliver's attorney has a different strategy. While Lucy can blame everything on Oliver since he was the one that pulled the trigger, Oliver's defense has to be a bit more creative. They say, we do not dispute in any way that he pulled the trigger on the gun that shot Tyler Pratt and Jordan Romano. AKA, he did shoot them. He killed Tyler, but the defense attorney argues this is not first-degree murder. What Oliver did should be considered second-degree murder. He just wanted to, quote, tame a violent, angry, volatile, muscular, international drug dealer. He argued that Tyler had threatened to break his legs if he didn't get his money back, and more, ASAP. And their whole defense relies on the fact that Tyler is this big, scary guy, and Oliver was too dumb and too scared, so he killed him. They say the shooting is so poorly orchestrated, it doesn't meet the threshold for first-degree murder. The defense attorney basically states, riddle me this, if what seems at first glance to be a plan so badly thought out that it falls apart because so many obvious things were not considered, that indicates there was no plan to begin with.
Lol.
The attorney argues that one of Tyler's close acquaintances had recently been gunned down in Vancouver. They also state that Jordan and Tyler had gotten into an explosive fight 5 months into their relationship, where the attorney alleges that Jordan allegedly told others that Tyler had physically harmed her. So they're just trying to paint the victims in this horrible light the whole time. They say, and Jordan even said, Oliver told her, get out of here, Joe, moments before shooting her. So clearly he didn't want
That'll
to
be the
shoot her.
basement.
Just these attorneys are doing weird stuff. And why? Instead of killing them right away, why would they wait 30 minutes? Why would they spend 30 minutes with them at the warehouse before the shooting?
Arm is itchy.
His attorney states about his wife and her
I
defense team.
have done
Throughout this
more.
trial, Lucy and her team have attempted to do everything they can to demonize Oliver in your
Yeah, I
eyes,
know,
to
I
make
gotta-
you hate him. It has been relentless.
Listen,
To which Lucy's attorneys have stated, yeah, he does
I
not
don't know,
need
I'm
any
sick
help
right
in
now.
that department. All of his attorneys asked Lucy why she didn't just tell this version of events when she had that interrogation with the authorities. And they say, here's why you didn't, Lucy. You wanted some time to make up a story. It's taken you 3 years to make up a story. Because the trial happened 3 years later. But if it is true, let's entertain the idea that Lucy's newest version of events is true. Oliver's defense wonders, why would she stay with Oliver in Europe throughout all of this then? The state argues there's no way you can look at this and see something other than a more planned murder. The plan isn't smart. No one said you have to be a smart killer, but you are a killer at the end of the day. This is an outright
Cool.
execution. They swapped SIM cards. They wore a wig. They took the stairs to make it seem like they never left their apartment. They actually purchased a new car. The Audi Q5 was purchased a week before, and they didn't change the license plates. So when they found the Audi Q5 later, the authorities, it got traced back to the original owner. And they were like, you are doing something suspicious. And she's like, oh, no, I just sold the car. Then they tried to sell the Audi, but they didn't, along with the Range Rover. And once they realized that Jordan is still alive, they fled the country. Just to add to their cruelty, they state that Lucy and Oliver stole $20,000 in cash after killing them as well. So from the crime scene, they took $20,000 from Tyler's car. Additionally, it's very clear that Tyler wanted his money back, but not in an aggressive way. They state that Tyler was having cash flow problems because a cocaine shipment was seized at the border. So Lucy had to write them a $1 million check from her mom's account and said she's so rich, she won't even notice the money is gone. But they had no plans of getting that check cashed.
Who has no plan?
Lucy and Oliver is what the prosecution's arguing. Like, they have no plans.
They
Like,
were gonna kill him
they're
because they
not
didn't want to
gonna
cash
let
it.
Tyler and Jordan even have the chance
Interesting.
to cash that check. Because they're gonna kill them. It's just to buy a tiny bit of time.
I
Bro.
see. Okay, got it.
So they're like, okay, fine, like all that money that you invested is tied up in Europe, so here's $1 million. Yeah. The Crown says, honestly, Lucy is a big freaking liar. They tried to go through every single thing she lies about, but it's a lot. So for example, at one point said she had no clue her SIM card had even been swapped. Unbeknownst to her, she just took her phone and left the house. Turns out her
Girl.
SIM card had been swapped. Yeah. But then they found text messages between Oliver and Lucy a few days before the murder, and they're texting about Chin. Oliver texts him, Chin said he can lend me his son, which sounds
And now
like
the
an
hardest
autocorrect
part,
for
fucking
Sim.
roofs.
And that was 3 full
Hate
days
doing
before the
roofs.
murder. To which Lucy argues it's an inside joke. Son is a
we
nickname
go.
that they
Okay.
have for another friend who was supposed to drive him to the meeting that day. Which the prosecutors tell the jury is, quote, an elaborate story that's quite ridiculous. You don't have to be the world's greatest detective to figure this out.
There
2
we
days
go.
before the shooting, there are messages between Oliver and Lucy where Oliver says, I hope those R words have money. They find it chilling that the day of the murder, the two of them are seen in the apartment elevator together, acting like nothing's gonna happen. They're like playfully pinching each other's cheeks. One big evidence of premeditation is Oliver tries to sell the Audi and Jordan's Range Rover weeks before killing them. Like, imagine trying to sell a random acquaintance's car.
I don't know why people keep like
Without their
gunning their cars
permission.
in this area. It's so annoying.
You're
Yeah.
done.
You're done. Like, what would be the reason for that? The prosecutors argue, what other possible reason could you have on planning to sell Jordan's luxury Range Rover that she had no intention of getting rid of unless you believe she wasn't going to be around to have a say?
I mean, that also just shows they're genuinely not smart. Like,
No.
they planned the killing and they're genuinely
They're
not smart.
genuinely
Yeah, because their
not
defense
smart.
is like, no, they're so dumb, there's no way they planned it
True.
like this. But it's, yeah, no, I think they're so dumb that they did plan it like this. It's just evil. Like, they're dumb and evil.
Yeah.
And that's a very scary combination. Lucy testifies during the trial that the prosecutors had stated she planned and deliberated what would have been a double murder, and she responds, I mean, that's ridiculous, because I would never kill anybody, I would never be part of a plan to kill anybody, I would never be okay with a plan to kill anybody. If I had known, I would have put a stop to it. I married a man who shot not just a woman, but a pregnant woman as well as another guy, and I missed so many red flags, and I continue to be in love with him, and I really feel like an idiot right now. She states throughout the trial
Girl.
that she was on the other side of the warehouse when it happened, and she didn't know anyone had been shot. Except Jordan testifies. No, she wasn't. She was standing right there in front of the car when the shooting happened. I'm in the driver's seat. I couldn't talk. I couldn't move, and Oliver is staring at me. The prosecutors asked Lucy about this, and she said, they say, what Jordan said is the truth, and you know it's the truth, don't you? No, I don't. Furthermore, a detail that prosecutors find interesting is a week prior to the crime, the couple purchased that Audi, right? And that was using Lucy's money. She purchases the Audi for Oliver. But get this, Oliver does not have a license. So why would she buy him a random Audi conveniently a week before the crime when he's not allowed to drive? He doesn't have
make this
a
like
license. It doesn't make any sense. Side note, he can't drive because a while back when Oliver was 19 years old, he was drunk driving, and this personal trainer of his named David Chang was in the passenger side.
Oh, he killed another person?
Double the speed limit, crashed the car, David
Shocker.
Chang died. So he was sentenced to 5 years for reckless DUI that ended in manslaughter.
That's like the case we just talked about.
Yeah, and he got 15 years of not being able to drive and 5 years in prison, which is absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's not shit.
So he can't drive. Why would she purchase an Audi for him? If they have no plans to murder anyone, what would be the reason of purchasing an Audi? She already has a Mercedes. It doesn't make sense. Lucy argues that Oliver told her it was for his flipping car business where he buys cars and ships them to sell in Europe, and she said that he promised to pay her back for it. The prosecutor says Lucy presents as someone with a carefully crafted script, willing to say or make up just about anything to distance herself from every aspect of this plan. Not only was she aware of the plan, she was part of the plan. She was an active participant. The prosecutors state, it is because of Jordan's strength and her courage that you can see the real Lucy and Oliver past all the lies. Perhaps without her surviving, they would have gotten away with it.
That's true.
But she did survive. Jordan states she was in a coma for 3 days. She lost her baby. She has severe nerve damage everywhere. The recovery lasted months of excruciating physical pain where she couldn't even move without someone helping her. Anytime she wanted to sneeze or cough, because it was in her chest. This is dangerous. She can't just sneeze and cough like a normal person. Her mom has to hold a pillow down to hold her body in place. She had fake bones implanted into her chest. She has scars all over her breasts and her stomach. She had to relearn how to walk and even stand. She says, I live every day with anxiety and PTSD. I was so angry. I think the worst part was mourning him. She said she and Tyler were like one person. That's how close they were, and she lost him. She was angry. She says, to hear he suffered in the most gruesome manner makes me shake to my core. She said, yes, he was in the cocaine business, but he wanted out, and he's kind. He has an even temper. He was down to earth. He always put his children first.
I'm gonna make this a porch.
Even then, she said the first day of trial, she was terrified to
I need to put roofs on the rest of it, but I don't know.
The last time
I'm
she
not sure
saw
I'm
them,
gonna
they
do
were
that.
hunting her down in the Range Rover. Jordan states, it's crystal clear, Lucy was involved. She states, and I really liked Oliver. He was always so nice and caring. Tyler loved Oliver. It was a great friendship. He adored him. We considered them really good friends, and that's really embarrassing. And it was all fake.
It's not
It
embarrassing.
does seem like Lucy is involved, but I think most netizens are confused on why.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if this matters, but this was an interesting comment that was posted by God knows who, so take this as seriously as you would take a hedgehog with a fedora on. This could be made up out of thin air, pulled out of someone's grass. One comment claims that they personally know Lucy, which anyone can post this on the internet without knowing Lucy. But they write, I knew Lucy for a few years, right before she got with Oliver again. She's rebellious, and these things totally get her excited. She's always had money, but she wanted trouble. It was never about money. She did it because it made her feel good. That's why I distanced myself from her. Lucy's sisters are normal, but she's like a different breed, and has always been. I totally believe she planned this with Oliver. There was another internet rumor that Lucy allegedly
Shift C to get this, by the way.
Could be made up by anybody, but it stated that she would do this thing where she probably had lots of wealthy friends, right? And she would steal their expensive designer goods, but not to use it. She would steal it and then immediately trash it, allegedly.
The fuck?
Which is so weird. I don't know if this is true. Would it be for the
so
thrill?
weird.
Would it be for the power of it? I don't know. Again, not proven to be true at all, but if it were, I think that's the only insight I could have maybe been able to put together. And again, it might not even be true, right? Because I don't know why she would be involved. Now,
So
side note,
weird.
it does seem like Lucy's character is confusing. Her morality is all over the place. Her attorney just attacks Jordan the entire time. He states Jordan is not a trustworthy witness in court because, well, she has questionable morals. Sir, he essentially goes on to state that with the mask factory that they
She has
invested in
questionable
Europe with
morals?
Oliver, their
Okay.
whole business model is to price gouge hospitals during the pandemic while people are dying so that they can make a profit. So he's like, do you really
I mean,
trust
for
someone
sure.
who just cares about money like that? The defense attorney also
But
asks,
also your
does that make her a
client
good
killed
person?
someone,
Then he states
so-
to Jordan, you let a fairly big drug dealer fly under the radar. That makes you part of the problem. Don't you see that? Jordan would later state, we wanted to have a family and leave that negative stuff behind. Then they tried to discredit Jordan's version of events, stating that while she's truthful, she's unreliable because of the trauma that she faced. Which, yeah, but because of who did she have to face that trauma is the question here. What kind of question is that? Oliver's defense states, despite being there,
Okay.
Jordan cannot describe how Oliver shot Tyler, yet she clearly remembers Oliver telling her to get out of here, Joe. Lucy's attorney states, Jordan has a moral compass so far off it should concern the jury. They keep bringing up the fact that Jordan claims to be a good person, but she was living in luxury off of the cocaine money, and how she used to be a dancer, which,
I mean,
I don't know,
relevance.
sir, with all due respect. What about your client? What's going on there? I don't think we can have a morality competition with anyone here. The state argues Jordan has been an open book and a consistent witness. She may have helped Tyler live off-grid and benefited from his work, but no matter what you think of her lifestyle, it does not diminish her credibility. Jordan states, throughout this trial, the legal teams have made Tyler out to be a scary monster, but you guys are the monsters. Side note, it said that during the whole trial, Lucy would look over her shoulder and smirk at Jordan the whole time. Yeah. I don't know if that's true, but it's out there.
Do you know if the mom and the family was there, present?
Yes, but they never went up onto the stand. The mom showed up in a fur coat and designer bags. She does look kind of scary. I don't know. If Insang, Korean first impression, she looks intense. Everybody's family showed up.
Do it.
Tyler's family, Jordan's family.
Download it.
Everybody was there. The jury takes less than an hour to deliberate. They were found guilty. People actually started cheering in the courtroom when the verdict was read. I think nobody likes entitled, spoiled people slut-shaming and shaming others when they're literally on trial for murder. I mean, the whole thing is frustrating. In Canada, a murder verdict is automatic life in prison with 25 years served before parole eligibility.
Okay, I don't know how I'm gonna do this
And
part though.
Canada's actually pretty good about releasing people soon on parole. So it doesn't seem like they're going to be there for life. The judge looked at the two defendants and said, it was an outright execution. It is difficult to imagine a more calculated and planned murder than what was conducted.
Do we know Lucy's reaction in that moment? Or?
She just looked kind of stoic-faced and a little upset. The best part was when Lucy was being dragged back in by the authorities because she's going to prison, Jordan said, "Bye, Lucy!" And Jordan says because of how intense her trauma is, she is terrified of cars and loud noises. She said she was driving one time and she felt this insane PTSD anxiety where she felt like Oliver and Lucy were driving, chasing her, and she got into a car accident. For the first year of recovery, the only way she could fall asleep was to drink alcohol. And she looked at the couple when she gave her victim impact statement and she said, the honest to God truth is, I'm not angry at both of you, nor do I want to avenge you, which would be a normal thought for a woman who has had a child and boyfriend taken from her, as well as a lifetime of PTSD and anxiety. You have both inflicted on me.
Okay.
What I actually
Fair.
feel
I think that'll be better.
is sorry for you. I feel sorry that you threw away your lives for a lousy $470,000. It's pathetic.
Maybe.
I remember exactly what you did to me, how you preyed on me and Tyler for weeks. My scars are a daily reminder that I survived what was meant to destroy me. My hope is that your lives will be nothing but a cold jail cell with the same jail food, and the worst part of all will be you alone with your own ugly thoughts. You will have to face your own evil self every day. But my life doesn't end here. It's just getting started. Yeah. During the trial, forensic pathologists stated that Tyler did not quickly pass. They say his wounds would have taken anywhere between 2 minutes to 2 hours.
Bro.
The judge stated he was left wounded and was alive possibly for up to a few hours after being shot, with no aid, no assistance being called on by the two offenders. Tyler's mom has stated, "We've gone through a devastating time. We've lost a grandbaby through it, as well as our son. Tyler was a phenomenal father and a talented entrepreneur and someone who is continuously driven for excellence, just very hardworking." They said it was hard to listen to him being labeled as this dangerous criminal when he can't even be here to defend himself. For the past 3 years, Tyler's dad has been trying to get justice, and he's been wearing his son's shoes every day for 3 years.
Terrible.
And now that the verdict has been reached, he says that he will put the shoes back in the box because it was the closure he needed. And
Bro.
Lucy and Oliver are now appealing their convictions.
Of course they are.
And Jordan is suing Lucy in civil court, as well as Oliver.
Nice.
So that is where the case
As
is
she
right
should.
now. What are your thoughts? I mean, why do you think Lucy was even part of this? It doesn't make sense.
Okay, that's something.
I just don't understand the psyche
I
behind
hate
it.
doing roofs.
It doesn't even seem like her mom was gonna cut her off.
Especially roofs
I
that
think
aren't
her
just
mom has
straight.
a lot of pressure that she puts on her children, but I think the children play the part well. I think Lucy played the part well, and I think as long as she kept playing the part, I don't think her mom had any plans to cut her off. Because I don't think that would have even looked good for the family, which it seems like her mom cares a lot about. I mean, I don't know them personally, but just from the few interviews I've watched of her. It's just weird. What are your thoughts? Why would she get involved? Let me know in the comments, and stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.
Alright, we gotta find a next one. It's like that work? Okay, maybe I should just do this. I'll just move everything out. One. And then it's fine. Then it's fine. Then everything fits well. Whoa! Fucking roofs. Hate. I hate. Okay. Oh, I did it. I did it. Thank you, thank you. I try. I would say that there's like a decent amount of other people who definitely do that, but yeah, not enough. A lot of people just want to shill, which, I mean, get the bag, I guess, but like, I don't know. I'd hate to have a reputation like that. Do we want black fencing? Yeah, I feel like black fencing, windows, and doors. Like all the hardware will be black. And the stairs. Okay, there. Okay. Alright, I gotta put stairs in the back. Oh, wait. There. Perfect. Alright. Let me figure out what we're watching next. Okay. It's not like a block of cheese. Stop. Bro. Okay, let's see. Okay, we don't have any other rotten mango, but we do probably have some new Stephanie Sue. Let me see. Oh my god, fine, I'll zoom in. Stop yelling at me, computer. Taiwanese actress breastfeeds son till he's 12. When it starts. Based on when it starts. Okay, that's what we're watching. It's a horrible day to have ears and eyes and a brain. Are you ready? Yeesh. Hour and a half. Sounds about right. Woo. Let me quickly do something off camera while you guys pull that up. And I'll be right back. Alright. Be right back. I also might grab more Triscuits because I almost ate them all. Oops. More for when I inevitably eat the rest. I always gotta have a backup box, you know. Dude, they started limiting the number that you can buy of this flavor. It's probably my fault because I buy like fucking 10 of them at a time. Okay, but you need to actually try the thing that's on the front of this. This with like this fucking Triscuit, this flavor of Triscuit, the balsamic vinegar and basil one with like, oh god, like a sharp smoky cheddar of some type, or like, oh, what was it that we had? It's like an Asiago or something, I don't know. Anyway, good smoky cheese on it, and then strawberries or apples, and then balsamic vinegar like glaze on top. Oh, so good. It's so good. But yeah, no, I am like that. And it's not because I'm hoarding them, it's just because I go through it so fast. And it takes too long to arrive. Sharp cheese also works. Alright. I just realized the timer's still going. Alright, let's play. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Play. Sorry, my play button went away. I literally, they started limiting it on Amazon. They're sold out completely at the store that's near me. Okay.
Have you ever been in a kissing competition? Just take a guess at what you think the premise of a kissing competition is.
Kissing competition?
Yeah. How many people can you kiss at the same time? How many cloves of garlic can you eat and still convince a stranger to kiss you? What is the premise of a kissing competition? Honestly, I feel like those make a lot more sense than the actual kissing competition. It's called a marathon kissing competition. The premise is this. Couples will sign up to publicly just stand there in public. Typically on some sort of platform or stage, but also it could just be in your local fast food joint.
Yeah, hi Miso, I love you too, Baba.
There's usually an audience gathered at this point. On the count of 3, 2, 1, kiss!
Miso always chooses the worst time to try to cuddle me. He always wants to cuddle me when I'm in the middle of fucking doing something. Never when I'm like laying in bed.
But you can do tongue, you can do other lips.
Oh, so I don't have to actively like work it.
wait. What do you mean you have to actively work it? What do you mean by that?
Are we just like touching mouth as like a competition, or are we like working it?
Oh, like showing off your tongue skills? I mean, it's really up to you, but the rules are this. The last
LMAO.
to stop touching mouths is the winner.
Okay.
So you don't have to like be all tongue, doing tongue twisters, spelling out coconut with your tongue or anything like
I feel
that.
like that's pretty easy.
You think so? How long do you think we would last?
At least like a good 24 hours.
24 hours?
Like you just have to touch mouth.
How would we eat? He's already eating. Okay, so
no.
the last one to stop touching lips is the winner, and you're just holding your faces up to each other. You're breathing in each other's exhales, fighting for your life, for oxygen.
That sounds
There's
horrible.
a woman named Di Ying, and let's call her Di. She's a famous actress in Taiwan, and she is walking on the streets when she stumbles across one of these kissing competitions. This is kind of a bigger thing in Asia because there's like a whole psychology piece on it. PDA is not that normalized in Asia, so they do these kissing competitions. It's more frequent in Asia than it is here.
That
Think
is
of it like
so
a
goofy.
t-shirt competition. So she sees this kissing competition, and she's thinking, you know what? What the hell? She's got the perfect kissing partner. Let's do it. She signs up. The staff are looking at her a little weird. Maybe they recognize her because she's, famous. This is kind of crazy for her to publicly participate in one of these kissing competitions that just normal people are doing. Imagine seeing Taylor Swift at your local trivia night. It's kind of crazy. Like, what do you? I mean, I love you. I'm so excited. I'm so honored to be breathing the same air. But like, I feel like you have something better to do. No, I feel like we can't have the same hobbies. You're too cool. Are there cameras? Like, are we getting pranked? But also, on top of that, the partner that Dee is signing up to kiss in the competition, not her fellow famous actor husband. It's not her husband. The person taking applications even politely declines, and is telling her to maybe call your husband to come. But Dee doesn't give a fork. She's read the terms and conditions. Where does it say that I have to kiss a specific person? Why do I have to kiss my husband? What does me kissing someone else do to you? It doesn't impact you. It doesn't bother you. Sign me the f*** up.
What's the price?
I think like nothing. I think you get a voucher for a restaurant or something. Like the prizes are always weird. The prizes are never great. Sometimes restaurants will do kissing competitions for like a free month of food. Limit $5 per usage.
I think it's like you can be low on iron or something.
And she's just so aggressive.
Or you ate something with food coloring.
They just let her enter the competition. In the end, they get bullied into letting her compete. That's how it feels. And in the end, Dee competes. The actress is up there kissing her partner, swaying her body left and right, not in like an overtly suggestive way, but still like she's weird and she's having fun. They end up kissing for 3 hours. By the end, her partner fell asleep because he's so tired, and she stays pressing her mouth in place, holding him in place so that their mouths don't disconnect. I mean, the whole thing blows up on the internet. One person comments, as a pervert, I feel this is even more perverted. Somebody, yeah, which is the new, I think we should only comment like this from now on. As
a
idiot,
pervert?
I think this is even more stupid.
This is
As a
too bad.
horrible
This is
person,
too far.
I think this is even more foul. Like, this is the only way. Okay, someone else comments, somebody help him.
Stop.
Another comment,
Somebody
this is
help
scary.
him.
Looking at them makes me feel chills, uncomfortable. Because Dee is not just kissing someone that is not her husband.
It was it.
She's kissing
No.
their son.
No.
No, it's real. There's video evidence. It's not even fake. It's not a rumor. It's real.
There's video. No.
5.
5?
5. The famous Taiwanese actress entered the kissing competition with her 5-year-old son. And this is the story of the craziest mama's boy from Taiwan that got arrested.
If it wasn't sick before.
A mental breakdown.
Mom got arrested?
No, the kid.
The 5-year-old got arrested?
The 5-year-old.
Now, but I'm about to walk you through this guy's life. It's insane. It's something that you will never catch me doing is reading the fine print. Like when I open a website and it asks me if I want the cookies, I'm clicking accept all the cookies. I recently learned that you want my cookie? They wouldn't name it a cookie if it was anything bad, correct? Correct. Who even is they? Who's giving out the cookies?
Girl.
Why am I accepting somebody's cookies? But the other day, I found myself raw dogging the internet a little too hard. Some of these stories have me googling some nasty
No,
stuff. I'll be
don't
typing in,
raw
like
dog it.
Tongue's fan cam, like just weird stuff. Okay, sometimes my search is way too embarrassing to leave in my browser history, so I use incognito mode. And I have some really bad news for you freaky people out there. Yes, incognito mode does not save your browsing history, but the website you visit can still track your business even if you don't accept the cookies. I don't know about you, but I don't want anyone seeing my business. That is why I use ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN is a virtual private network that acts as a barrier between you and the unholy hellfire that is the internet. Usually when you browse the internet, your IP address is exposed. That's like your online identity.
Okay,
But
we'll just do this.
ExpressVPN creates a virtual private network, and within that network, it gives you a new IP address and hides your real IP address. So if you walk into a grocery store, everything you touch, you're gonna leave a fingerprint. But if you wear gloves, there's no fingerprint. ExpressVPN is the glove. You really want to have ExpressVPN if you're connected to public
It's the
Wi-Fi,
glove.
especially if you're on public Wi-Fi. Anyone with a basic computer skills
Oh my God,
can
stop
hack into
yelling
your
at me,
device and
computer,
find sensitive
please.
information like usernames, personal information, and even bank statements. By public Wi-Fi, I mean 5-star hotel Wi-Fi. I'm talking airport Wi-Fi, airplane Wi-Fi, every Wi-Fi out there.
Every Wi-Fi.
They have nothing to hide. You're like, I am a transparent galley. You can see all of my nasty,
There we go.
disgusting after dark searches. I don't care. I have nothing to lose. If you are that, first of all, I'm so scared of you, but I respect you
That's
so
me,
much.
honestly.
But
I
if
don't
you are
care.
that, do it for the Netflix. If you're in the US, you can't watch some of my favorite K-dramas. Netflix is banning me from my birthright. K-dramas. Basically, Netflix has a separate catalog of
Not
movies
the
and TV shows
birthright.
for each country. There are a lot of US shows that I couldn't watch when we went to Korea and vice versa. There's a K-drama called Sleep. It's about this newlywed couple who are expecting a baby. Wife is about to bust. She's about to bust any
Ooh,
day
a new
now.
K-drama.
But one night she wakes up to find the husband sleepwalking, saying
Should we listen to
someone's
that?
inside.
Or should we watch
and he
that?
just starts sleepwalking every single night, and he's trying to jump out the window. The wife is trying to keep her man alive because, hello, what the fork is going on? We talked about this one.
I want purple
Yes,
floors.
so good. Netflix took one look at my IP address and said, this one's not for you. You can't handle this one. It's like virtual passport control out here. But I boop boop beep bop,
Lol.
2 clicks, and suddenly my IP address is in Korea. So if you don't want Netflix to gatekeep you, get ExpressVPN. Either scan the QR code
Ooh,
on
purple.
the screen or click the link in the
That's the
description
wrong
box below
color
or
of
go to
purple, damn it.
expressvpn.com/bis to get 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. Thank you, ExpressVPN, for sponsoring
That
today's
works.
video, and let's get into it. April of 2024. this year, there's this weird CCTV footage circulating from a home in Thailand, inside of their house. Someone had set up
That's
cameras
good.
inside their house, CCTV footage of a home in Thailand. The homeowner posted because it's just so bizarre. It's so freaking weird. They were alerted by their camera system that an intruder had broken into their home. So they're like, oh my God, we're getting robbed. They quickly look at the CCTV footage, and there is a guy inside their living room right now, shirtless, swim trunks.
The fuck?
But the way he's walking, it's like he's in a daze. It's like he's in a dream. He's not beelining it to a safe. He's not beelining it to the valuables. He's just like walking around, mouth open, mouth breathing, staring at the pictures in the frames on the shelves. Then he walks over to the couches in the living room, and the homeowners had put a white cloth on them since I think they weren't home for a while or like something, right? He leans down like a fake human. He literally looks like a robot. His movements are odd. And he just starts wiping his face on the cloth that's covering the couch. Then he starts walking slowly towards the stairs and slowly pulling down his swim trunks, butt crack out, butt cheeks out, airing it out. I don't know.
No.
No pen?
No pants.
Okay.
The way he's walking, it's like a zombie that had their souls sucked out of their bodies. Just so slow, so pointless, so aimless, so quiet, in a daze. This CCTV footage goes viral because this is the same son. The 5-year-old son from the beginning of this case is the same son now, 23 years old, high on weed in Thailand.
Weed? That's it?
Home. And everyone is wondering, what on earth happened to the biggest mama's boy of Taiwan? What the fork is happening?
Well, what was he doing?
We don't know.
What do you mean?
Oh yeah, we're gonna dissect it, but he's weird. We're gonna dissect the whole thing. But 23 years ago, this is where it all starts unfolding. 23 years prior to this CCTV footage in Thailand.
Drugs are bad,
One of the most famous Taiwanese opera actresses at the time. She's doing this press tour because she's got this new upcoming TV drama series called Ladies Wish.
Okay, maybe this.
And she's at the press conference, and she's with all her castmates, all the fellow producers, and she casually announces out of nowhere, like people are asking questions about the show, people are asking questions about the characters, and she says basically, hello everyone, it's a pleasure to be gathered here today. I know that nobody knows this, but a few years ago, I was filming a different show, and I met this male co-star on that show, Sun Peng, we're gonna call him SP. Well, we fell in love on set. It wasn't love at first sight, but we fell hard. And we secretly got married. Away from the eyes
Secretly got married.
And just 6 months ago, after months and months of IVF, we finally gave birth to our very first child, a baby boy named Edward's son. So, this is a roller coaster
What
of
is
emotions.
happening?
Everyone is shocked, but also happy for her, then really happy for her because maybe being a mom is going to change her from, you know, violently attacking other actresses. Oh yeah, that's the whole thing. We'll get there. Ultimately, everybody feels very happy for her. It's crazy. It's crazy that she kept it a secret, but overall, this is good news. She got married. She has a son. Good for her. The son is, what, 6 months old now? And then in the same breath, Dee announces, but now I am preparing for a divorce. And everyone is like, what the in one single press conference, one of the most famous actresses at the time announces she got secretly married to another actor, a very famous person, had a son with him, and now they're getting divorced. Her words were, today is my first time announcing my marriage, and also my first time announcing my divorce. She whips out a piece of paper.
Okay, 8.
This is my new husband.
Is her marriage certificate.
Bro.
They're like, wait, no, don't, please. She rips it apart in front of everyone.
What?
Yeah, she rips up the marriage certificate.
Oh.
And everyone is like, what's going on? The cast, the production team, the producer, the director, nobody knew that this was going to happen. I mean, who even suspects something like this? And everybody looks upset. This drama that they spent every moment on, this show that they spent every waking moment trying to perfect, and nobody is going to care about their hard work or the show itself. All they care about is Dee and her crazy divorce.
Oh no.
So who the fork
Okay, we're
is
gonna
Dee?
do these
This
instead.
is a little unhinged behavior. Dee, her whole family consists of opera singers, which, by the way, we're talking about Chinese opera,
I
which
like
is also really
that.
cool. It's comprehensive performance art, probably one of the oldest
It's
forms
fine
of
with
art and entertainment that exists.
good.
It goes long, long back ago, and it showcases historical tales, folklore. It's like a play, but on steroids. There's acting, singing, martial arts, acrobatics. It's really elaborate, very intense makeup, lots of masks, costumes, Her dad was a very famous Taiwanese opera director. Her mom and older sister were opera actresses. So her uncle is also a very famous artist. It's just a huge family of creatives. And Dee is like a theater kid. Which, by the way, theater kids, they're a different breed. And I say
That's
this
me.
with as much fear than anything. Fear and respect. Okay?
As you
Theater
should.
kids fucking scare me. They really do. Imagine being so self-assured and confident in your passions that you literally don't give a what people think, and you do all the weird in public when you're like 12. Okay? That took me 20-something years to get here, and I feel like I'm still not theater kid level of confident. They're crazy. They'll bully you for bullying them, Slay. Wait, I don't know if I should say that. Bullying is bad. But they'll
Bullying
bully you
is
if you bully
bad.
them. Everyone in school called Dee the wild horse. Because people try to bully her because her dad died. They're like, haha, your dad is dead. They're like, hee hee ha,
Oh.
your dad is dead, you're fatherless. And she bullied
Oh.
them right the back. She said, oh yeah, you're about to be fingerless if you don't shut the fuck up. And everyone's
Oh.
like, oh my god. She's kind of mean. And then she turned 19, got super famous as an opera actress, which I probably pissed off her bullies, okay? Dee is also really beautiful. There are pictures of her when she's younger, and she is the definition
Ooh,
of
wow,
natural
she is
beauty.
really pretty.
You know some people have iPhone faces? She does not. She fits all
Girl,
of the
my computer
opera,
right
older,
now.
dynastic,
I need a smaller window.
dynastic, the dynasty
Nope.
princesses.
I need a really tiny window.
Okay, she just looks like she's never seen an OnlyFans account in her entire life. Like, she just doesn't look like she's ever even witnessed
Never
it.
seen an
She's never
OnlyFans,
seen someone eat a whole
lol.
cucumber in a day.
What?
Most of her roles are the soft, intellectual
How terminally
roles in the
online are you?
house.
Did you
And
understand that
instantly everyone
reference?
is like, that one. Make her famous, spectacular, now give me 17 of them, okay? People start demanding on the spot that she stop doing operas and get on the 8 o'clock bus. She starts acting in the 8 o'clock TV dramas. That's primetime TV. Do you know what I'm talking about? Everyone is already home. They're done with homework. They're done doing the chores. And now they want to lay down on the couch, cut some fruit, and slowly fold laundry while watching the show. Literally 16 minutes of a show, one t-shirt has been folded, but that's okay because you're finished for the day. You're wrapped. This is the height of TV. You don't get on someone's screen at 8 o'clock p.m. unless you have made it. For example, some primetime TV actors and actresses, they're pulling in hundreds of thousands of dollars per episode, sometimes $1 million per episode. Non-primetime TV, 2 p.m., you could be making like a few $1,000s per episode. Yeah, which is still a lot, but like, do you see the difference here? So everybody, I mean, they just love how Dee looks like this soft, delicate flower, like a rose petal floating around in a soft
But she's
pond of
just
water.
crazy.
That's what she looks like. And then they don't watch the 8 p.m. show. They watch the 10 p.m. show. And Dee is on there doing a reality show. And this soft-spoken girl with the feather-light voice is out here fucking beefing with everyone. And she's herself. She goes on this reality show and she tells the world, look, listen up. When I joined the entertainment industry, there were a lot of annoying people. So I fought them. People are like, what?
Hey.
What do you mean by that? Are you being dramatic? And she said, no, I would be on set, and if you annoy me, I would just hit you.
Girl,
And everyone is like,
I don't think you can do that.
something you should be bragging about, or something that you should be proud of. And she goes, I hit a coworker once, hit her once. And she's explaining, she's like, but hear me out.
What?
Once you hear me out, you're gonna understand why she
I don't think I
You're gonna
understand.
understand why violence is the answer. That
Is violence
sarcastic.
the answer?
She says, I hit one person. She had issues,
I mean,
you know? And she always
sometimes
had that
violence is
shut
the
up
answer,
pee
I think.
attitude. Shut up pie, shut up pee,
Shut up, I
shut up pie attitude.
playing the big card.
Yeah,
Thinking
yeah, yeah.
They're the biggest in,
Yeah.
in the room.
Mm-hmm. Everyone is
Okay,
quiet.
we got
They're like, girl,
windows.
that's not a reason to physically assault someone. And she says, listen.
Listen, it is.
Shut up, pie. Little shapi. Ooh, how do you say little silly goofy? Xiao Shapi. Little Xiao Shapi is the main
Oh.
lead in the show, which is fine. Whatever. I'm not jealous. Great. Okay, fine. But every single day, I would get my hair and makeup done. Everyone on the set would just be sitting, and we would just be waiting around for Shut up, Shut up, pie.
You gotta.
Oh, we would just be waiting for this silly little goofy cunt to show up for the show and get her makeup done.
Bro.
Always late, okay? One time, the whole crew had to wait on the bus to head to the airport, and the main lead, already late. When she finally shows up, she's like, wait, I gotta get my makeup done before I get on the bus. So now they have to wait in this bus even longer. And when she's finally done, full face, lashes, blush, Dee calmly walks off the bus to greet her, approaches her in the lobby, and without a word, just in pure silence, which I think is more terrifying, kicks the main lead. Dee said, I kicked her! And she flew. She's very weak. Yeah,
She
very-
flew?
very frail. And then I have a lot of power. You
Oh.
see? So she was just cowering on the floor, like in a little squatted pose in a fetal position. What is going on right now? She's saying this so wholeheartedly in a reality TV show. Tardiness makes her violent. Yeah.
Wow.
Dee said she looks down, sees this main lead, just not
Ma'am.
even trying to fight back. And she just really, in that moment, seeing her so helpless, so weak, I wanted to kick her again! But the staff dragged me away.
Oh my
Did
god.
Dee learn anything from this? Did she take
Never
anger
mind,
management
these are not
classes? No, she said
walking.
ultimately the lesson here is they were still late. They couldn't catch their
They were
flight
still
because her
late.
kicking her made them even more late. They had to catch a train. The train food is not nearly as good as the plane food, okay? She told the reality TV show, and I would do it again.
I'd
who's
do it
really
again.
late? I'm just doing what the whole crew wanted to do.
No. Girl.
I really want to be in a state of ignorance. Okay, I want to believe that
Bro,
Dee is
what the-
dramatizing this entire thing, and she probably didn't kick the other actress. Maybe it
No,
was more like
she
a
did.
footsie. Maybe she
She definitely
accidentally tripped her.
did.
The actress was like, "Ew, your feet are sticky." She collapses. Like, I'm.
Balance is a question. The answer is
There's no way
yes.
She's talking about this,
True.
right? And I do agree, tardiness and someone disrespecting other people's times just because they're the main lead, not good.
I'm just
But this
expect
is-
like
this
in
is
my
good
brain she
violent.
roundhouse kicked her.
Then she gets accused of bullying another actress by slapping her across the face and then flipping a trash
That's
can
just
on the top
assault.
of her
I don't think
head,
that's
bonking
bullying.
her with a trash can. When that comes out, people are like, wait a minute.
That's just
We thought
assault.
The first one was an over.
Kitty food time.
But now it seems like she's a violent person. What the fork is going on? People start
You don't
critiquing
say.
her. You absolutely cannot do this. First of all, how did your career not end? And second of all, you cannot just commit assault and battery anytime someone pisses
Oh.
you off. That's just not how it works. Is this really news to you? But then she would respond, every single person that I have beaten up, every single one that I have physically assaulted, they all went on to become very famous. Honestly, I think they should thank me. I
Bro,
made
what?
them famous. Like, we're laughing because this was a long time ago, and like, what can we do now, right? But like, what the okay? And one netizen writes, violence is wrong no matter what. Not only failing to recognize her mistake,
I mean-
but also being proud of it. She's very twisted up here. This woman scares me. She's very unhinged. But one person sees this, looks at her, and goes, you know what? I don't want to call the cops on her. I want to call an
That fucked
ordained
up the roof of my
minister
mouth.
because I want to make this official. I want to marry this violent little girl. I feel safe with her. I feel protected. That's how Dee marries Sun Peng. We're gonna call him SP. Yeah, they meet on a show. He sees how violent she is, and he's like, that's the one. That's
No.
the one I'm gonna get with. Dee marries SP
Bro.
in private, and that lasts a whole good 2 years before she blows up at the press conference, exposes that not only did they get secretly married, but they have a child, and now they're divorcing. And from
Oh my
all
God.
indications, it doesn't even seem like anyone knew that she was gonna make that announcement that day, including her husband that she's now divorcing. Like, nobody had any clue.
Is the son the same son?
Yeah.
Beginning?
Mm-hmm.
His name is
Edward. So after announcing the divorce, people start seeing Dee and SP out together as if they did not just publicly blow up their relationship. So this is confusing. They've been together secretly for 2 years. Nobody knew that they were married. They announced their divorce, and now they're like hanging out at coffee shops together. And it's like, wait a freaking
What?
minute. That doesn't even make sense. This was a time before PR relationships. At this point in the entertainment industry, outing your private love life was seen as classless, crass. Something only the regular civilians do, not the classy, not the famous, not the wealthy. But at this point, people are like, is she doing this for attention? Because this is so confusing. Turns out, after she announced the divorce, SP was like, I like her spunk. I want to stay together with her. And all their friends and family convince her, just try to make it work, make it work. So for
What?
2 years, they try to make it work. After divorce announcement, for 2 years, they're still together, and then they finally divorce 2 years later. And they would talk openly about their divorce in shows. They said it was just They both have very strong personalities. They're constantly moving in opposite directions, fighting every few days to the point of
What an
feeling
odd couple.
physically and mentally exhausted, and they would use all their energy fighting. And because neither of them ever wants to say sorry first, they end up gradually just drifting apart. There was no preventing it. But immediately after the divorce, SP gets a new girlfriend and starts going on these variety shows and flirting with every other freaking actress. And D sees this. This is the same woman who gets physical for someone being late. She's not going to easily digest this. Allegedly in retaliation, she starts withholding their son from SP. She's like, you can never see Edward anymore. D would even admit this. She would later joke, and I don't know how this is a joke, lady, but she would joke that she held her son away from SP to make him change his mind about the divorce.
Wow.
But it worked. Yeah, and before you feel bad for
Yeah, I don't think that's a joke.
SP is also weird. Like, apparently he has a history where he admitted that he got the teacher drunk when he was in high school. Like, he and a bunch of little boys got the teacher drunk, basically drugged her, I'm sure she's not willingly drinking with her students, and then took her to a classroom and lifted up her skirt to see her undies. So yeah, he's also not a good person, so don't even be rooting for any of these people, okay? There's not a single moral compass in this story. We can't find one. They all need sage dust and ash, and probably jail to fix themselves. Anyway,
jail.
To recap, D announces their divorce. For 2 years, they try to make it work. They finally divorce. SP gets a new girlfriend. D is jealous. She refuses to let him see their son. 3 years later, they get married again. And they have this huge wedding where they dress up their now 7-year-old son, Edward, as the ring boy, and it's a whole thing. Now, I thought because of the way D uses her son to get what she wants from her on and off husband, SP, I thought she wouldn't be a good mom, right? I thought she'd be a horrendous, neglectful mom. I thought she would not even look at her child. She just has nannies and she's like, whatever. That's not my kid. I don't care. I'm all about my life. It feels like she uses him to get what she wants and then forgets about him. That's what I was thinking. Well, on paper, some said D could be considered a perfect mom. On paper. It said that because she took so long to conceive, she went through multiple rounds of IVF. She's not just raising Edward like moms raise sons. She's raising him as her baby boy. If someone just sees the way D treats her son, you would think that he is Wang Sitong's kid and she's the hired nanny. She treats him like he's gonna be the next crowned king of Alibaba.
Bro.
Which is fine. But it starts to tread into some very alarming territory. First, the kissing competition from the beginning of the episode where she kisses her son for 3 hours to win a random string competition. He's 5. It's weird.
I had forgotten
strange.
about that.
People are commenting, is she going to be one of those moms that tries to marry her son later on? That's weird.
Yeah.
Then later in another reality show with
I'm gonna
Celebrity
go with
Moms,
yeah.
she starts talking about how she never wants to miss any first with her son. First time walking, first time talking, first time climbing, dancing, everything. She wants to be there and do this every first time. The other moms are like, yes, of course, and it's always hard because of our schedules and you can never predict. But then D is like, shh, I'm speaking. Even the first time he has sex, I hope my future daughter-in-law will let me take a peek.
No.
你的小孩的每一个第一次，你都非常在意。
我都很在意。
那
所以那个第一次就，希望我的媳妇儿可以让我偷看。
No.
No fucking way.
All the other moms, I mean, they look so confused, but then they try to be polite and they try to laugh because they're like, maybe she's really not funny and she's trying to be funny. Like, she's gotta be joking, right? She's just weird.
Absolutely. They
She's
would
so
have been on there,
serious.
bro.
Okay, she's so fucking serious that she's popping out her boobie in the name of parenting. The next thing that Dee reveals in a series of interviews, and nobody wanted to know. Nobody asked. Nobody cares. But she says, I am still breastfeeding.
Yes, I am a
And
femboy.
they say, wait a minute, let's do some math here. Your son is 12.
No.
Kids are done breastfeeding. 1, 2, 3, I don't know. I don't have a kid. Okay, but that's what I read. 1, 2, 3.
At 12?
12 is like, imagine a middle schooler breastfeeding. I don't know how you're still producing milk at that age.
Kidding me.
Yes, Dee doesn't even try to hide it. She's very upfront about it, and everyone is getting confused. Dee, why are you breastfeeding him? And she says, well, I'm not going to stop breastfeeding him when it's the best beverage for him.
That's not true.
Which is factually incorrect. She's taking medications to make sure she keeps producing milk, which I feel like that's just medicated milk at that
That's
point.
so
That can't
gross.
even be good for your son. It can't even be good for you. It can't be good for him, and it's just weird. Okay, in some countries and some states, it could border on child abuse because of how strange it is. But eventually, she knew that he wouldn't want her breast milk anymore. So she hired a nutritionist to make sure all of his meals are perfectly nutritious and balanced, organic vegetables, only the best grass-fed meat, all stored in a fancy refrigerator separate from the rest of the house food to make sure they don't get cross-contaminated by frozen Hot Pockets. God forbid it touches the chemical of the outside coating of a
Lol.
Hot Pocket. Every single meal has been handcrafted for Edward.
the Hot
His
Pockets.
favorites being boneless beef short ribs, deep sea fish, black cod, salmon fish. Dee likes to watch Edward eat every single meal. She just stares at him. She said if she had the choice, she would quit every single job and she would just spend 7 to 8 hours just staring at her son, watching him eat his organic fancy goop food.
Ew.
This is
What?
a thriller
Yeah.
This is a thriller.
show.
Yeah, and like again,
No, really though.
Creepy behavior.
see, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this online.
What do you mean?
But there is like a thing in Korean communities where a lot of moms will tell their daughters to marry a man who has a somewhat complicated relationship with their mom, meaning their mom does not love them all the way. You never want to marry a mama's boy is how they're trying to say it.
Girl,
yeah,
that's
they're
anywhere.
saying, you know what's best? Okay, don't hate me. Don't hate me. These are the in-laws' fault, okay? But my mom was saying how all of her friends told their kids, you know what the best setup is? You marry someone, and their parents still live in Korea, and you live in the U.S. with that man.
So you're saying you don't have to deal with the in-laws.
Bro.
Because especially like in Korean culture, there's mama's boys. I mean, in American culture too, in Chinese culture, you know. So they're just trying to say it's rough because imagining marrying this guy. Imagine marrying Edward. Nothing good's gonna come out of it. I'm telling you. Sometimes Dee said she will personally feed him. All he has to do is sit back and open his mouth for food. And she says, I could stand and eat for 7 hours a day. I would just sit there with him. He can spend
No.
over 2 hours for one meal.
Wow.
No.
She's obsessed. She makes
That
sure
one.
he eats a lot. And by the way, she like wants him to bulk up and gain health because she believes genuinely that her son is gonna grow up and become the next pillar of this country. Gonna figure out the exact impossible formula for girl math that he's going to solve world hunger one organic meal in his belly at a time.
Bro, what?
She said she doesn't even trust her mother-in-law and husband to make sure their son ate. She'll always ask the nanny to confirm. Did he eat well? Did he eat a lot? Did he or did he not?
Oh.
I feel like at this point, the general public is thinking, okay, not bad, but not good. You know, this is like, okay, if you take the kissing competition
Well, that's
out,
awkward.
the whole feeding thing, the breast milk is like a little, like it's all weird, but then also like maybe some people don't have kids, or maybe some people are leaving comments like, I understand, I don't know. Until she admits to committing felonies on reality TV shows once again. Dee needs to have a zipper installed on her lips that her PR reps can just come and zip and then throw away the key because someone
What do I do about
what
this
possessed this
stupid-
little lady to go onto another reality show. And she tells everyone when Edward was 1 year old, this is probably the most angry I've ever been in my life. When he was 1 year old, I mean the anger. Let me
She's
tell you.
angry, you're saying?
Let me tell you what happened, okay? Edward is 1 and he's at the playground and he's playing with all these kids and he decides to take another kid's toy, you know? He decides to burglarize another kid. Is that his fault? No. And she's watching this, and this kid gets so upset that Edward took his toy that he decides it's in his constitutional right to defend his property. He gets up, pushes baby Edward. Edward falls to the ground. Which, side note, I have 2 nieces that are almost exactly a year apart, and have you seen little children fight? It's like the goofiest I've ever seen. It's like in slow-mo. I feel like they're not aerodynamic yet. I feel like they don't have functions over their like reflexes yet. The way that they push, like the amount of time it takes them to aim a push feels like snail speed. It's ridiculous. But anyway, Edward gets pushed onto the ground. Dee witnesses the whole thing, and it's fine. There is a nice way to handle it, okay? Which is to figure out from the kid, why did you push my child? Time for both of them to have a good life lesson, and maybe you talk to the other parent and figure it out. Dee walks over, does not ask a single question, no interrogation. She just says, yeah, no, I don't like that. She walks over and pushes little 1-year-old onto the ground.
Oh,
the one
no.
that pushed Edward, and she's like, how you like that? How you like that? Yeah. Nothing came out of it. She didn't get arrested. She didn't
Not
get
the
sued.
Blackpink.
She didn't get struck down by lightning for karma.
Okay.
Nothing.
What's she
Instead,
got?
she gets herself a little wolf dog.
A wolf wolf dog.
Do you know what a little wolf dog is?
You're talking about like in Chinese?
Yes.
Like 小狼狗.
Yes. Okay. So it's slang, and it's to describe a young man. So it's typically described for young men, and typically the person describing them are older women, slightly
young
older.
men, like they're adults.
Oh yeah,
You're
they're
talking
like
about adults.
yeah,
Not
18,
kids,
20, 23, maybe to some people even 25.
The
You know,
fuck?
Yeah.
like young men, right? But it's to describe a young man who's handsome. A little wolf dog is a young, handsome, sharp-looking man, just full of like masculine testosterone
Like
pumping,
hungry,
for that ass, you know?
full of energy, like a little
Yes.
young German shepherd.
Yes,
Like
that's
that
a,
energy.
ah, yes,
Like,
German.
Thanks, I hate it.
Whoa.
Like a man ready to go.
Honey, you're like a wolf dog. You're like the.
No!
I'm prime. What are you
I'm prime.
Sometimes he'll like do these things where he picks me up, spins me around, and then the next day I see him quietly applying pastu onto his back, and I'm like, oh, bruh. It's a guy that's full of masculine energy, just
No.
pumping through his veins. He may have limited life experience, but his brute strength will break your headboard. He's not dumb. He's not too immature. He's just a little wolf dog. The term implies a certain dynamic where the older woman owns a little wolf dog. It's like a pet. Like you get a little wolf dog as a pet.
Thanks, I
Right?
hate
But it's
it
still a wolf
so
in terms
much.
of energy and stamina, but still a dog, like a pet. Characteristics of a little wolf dog include cold to others but warm to you, very unapproachable, very logical thinking, gives you a lot of safety, very possessive. So even though they're not the most experienced, they give the older woman a great sense of security because they're full of protective qualities. Like
I feel like this is exactly like dudes who are just like,
Wild.
college girls, always
Please leave
great
in the
because they
comments,
stay the
do you
same
like
age
little
as you
wolf
get old.
dogs,
That's the same
the
shit.
German shepherds, or
It's the woman
do you
version.
like little milk dogs?
小奶狗.
A little milk dog is like a little Pomeranian, soft, cutesy boy. Character.
That's me.
Puppy.
Yeah, they're all of age, but they include innocent, sticky.
Actually,
They
Jay, that's on
constantly
me.
want to stick to you. Okay,
That's on
sunny,
me.
warm, obedient, very
Nope,
easy
not
to
me,
train,
never mind.
they say. Very low temperament. The way
I'm none
that
of
Chinese
this.
women be objectifying men, honestly, is crazy.
Yeah, no
It's
kidding.
Crazy. Like half of me, after everything I've been through being a woman in this world, half of me is like, slay. And then the other half of me is like, oh, this is, but if the roles were reversed, I'd be so upset. Slay. Stop it.
Slay.
It's very complicated. The objectification is out of this world. They say, low
Queen.
temperament, constantly wants kisses and hugs, will always apologize first, very easy to control, lively, humorous, good time to be around. I'm like, these women are crazy. I love them. I'm scared of them. I don't know. Milk dogs are warm and soft. Wolf dogs are bold and wild. And they're typically both younger than the woman or man that they're dating. There were reports that Dee has a little wolf dog on the side. She's cheating on her husband, question mark, question mark. She posts on social media herself of her and her 13-year-old son cuddling in bed.
No.
Which honestly, the picture is, I don't know, maybe I just have such strong boundaries, okay? But I'm trying to think, I don't even think I would cuddle my mom like that in bed at 13.
What kind of cuddle?
It's just like big spoon, little spoon, but then I don't know. Like, every family is different, so it really depends. Okay, maybe when I was 13 I would. I don't know. But the caption is the part that gets people. The picture, people aren't even mad about the picture. They're mad about the caption. The caption reads, "Nobody tell my husband I have a little wolf dog."
Wow.
So it's just a little weird. And everyone is side-eyeing her like, ma'am, please get help. Do not make us suffer with you, okay? But maybe she's just saying all these things to get attention and doesn't actually mean it. She knows it's going to rile people up and she gets free press. That's what people are hoping. But in
We're all
another interview,
hoping.
she's talking about how obsessed she is with her son. And he's obsessed with her. She says, you guys can never imagine. My son, he really loves me a lot. Even now, he still wants to sleep with me.
I believe you. Please stop telling us.
He's 15, and people are like, this is not healthy. He just stopped breastfeeding, and now he's either being forced
He
or
just
he's
stopped
so dependent on his
breastfeeding.
mom that he's choosing to sleep with her, which is still alarming. And this is the part that gets everyone.
Not
Dee proudly announces that she takes off all her clothes but her undies when she sleeps with him. So she's cuddling him in just her undies, and she says, oh yeah, he has to hug me every day in order to fall asleep. But the part that really sends netizens into fucking space, into fucking orbit, into fucking hi astronauts that are stuck in space, we're like going crazy in space right now, is allegedly Dee said sometimes she had to stop sleeping with her son because she started getting like aroused, because allegedly he would allegedly she said this, okay? Allegedly he would have to hold her breast every day to fall asleep. She said he likes to touch my boots every day because he felt like he drank from boots since he was so young. It's a sense of comfort. So imagine a 15-year-old squeezing his mom's boots.
他每天都喜欢摸我，因为他觉得他小时候就喝奶奶，为什么我现在奶奶不让他摸？我跟他讲说，现在奶奶要给爸爸摸的。为什么爸爸可以摸我，为什么不行？
Is that not
Illegal?
prison?
That's a
I
crime.
genuinely don't know. Please leave it in the comments,
I
Dan.
feel like that's child
That
abuse, no?
should
Yeah,
be.
It's gotta be, right? And she tells the reality show with pride. Eventually, I told him he can't touch them anymore because they're only for daddy to touch. And she says he started freaking the fork out, screaming, why? Why can only daddy? Why not me?
Oh my god.
One of the most, liked comments reads, I don't think I understand Mandarin anymore. So that's a way of saying, I no longer speak this language. I no longer choose
I don't
to
think
speak
I
this
understand
language. I no longer
Mandarin
want to know
anymore.
what someone is saying. I no longer want to hear. This is very bizarre.
Oh my god, Chinese
It's
humor
also
is
the
so
way
good.
She says it. It's like she's so proud of herself. It's weird. She's creating Taiwan's
Okay, there we go.
biggest mama's boy, which seems to be the last thing people want. One netizen writes, a mama's boy will want his partner to treat him
Taiwanese
exactly
humor.
the same way his mom treats him.
But, you know,
so if you're
Mandarin.
not looking to adopt, I strongly suggest moving on. So they're saying it's one thing to have a good relationship with your mom. Everybody wants that. But a mama's boy, like she's not setting up Edward for success. And like, trust me, things are gonna go downhill. She said she's so scared of the world and everyone on the outside that she forbids her son from ever going outside alone until he turns 18.
This is like the
Abuse.
definition of mama's boy.
Yes.
As bad as it gets.
And it's so bad for the son.
Yeah,
Like she's creating, she's doing nothing good for him.
Cool
He's
gargoyle
not even
on
allowed to
there.
go to the convenience store down the block without his mummy or his
What?
nanny. At one point, Edward had to beg to be allowed to go to his friend's house for dinner. Dee finally lets him. She drops him off, waits outside until he's done.
What
and
the fuck?
she never again allowed him to eat dinner at a friend's house because he came back and told her that they ate porridge and snacks. She said that is not enough nutrients. You're not going to eat well. You can never eat outside the house ever again. She also pays like
What the
$20,000
fuck?
a year in tuition costs for his private middle school. But she's on edge every time he's at school because she wants to be near him. It's really
Girl.
weird. Now, eventually, something happens. We're in March 29, 2018, so not that long ago. Headlines in the U.S. read, he came to the U.S. for high school, then acquired an arsenal to attack it. A terrorist attack planning in the works.
Wait.
Wait, what?
The son is in America.
Oh, yeah.
For high school.
Oh, yeah. So eventually, he convinces his mom, I want to become an FBI agent. That's my dream. And the mom is like, okay. He's like, I want to get into criminal investigations, and the best place to go is the United States.
An
She
FBI
sends him
agent.
to high school in the U.S. Headlines in the U.S. read, he came to U.S. for high school, then acquired an arsenal to attack it. News travels to Taiwan because the headline is accompanied by a picture of Edward's son. Dee's son has been arrested
Oh my
for
God.
planning a terrorist attack.
What is going on?
Edward
How?
begged his parents to let him come to the U.S. to finish high school because, like I said, he wants to be an FBI agent. Feels a little random, but his classmates say, the guy was weird. I don't think he would have passed any of the background checks. I'm just saying he's kind of crazy. They said that he's normal until he's upset. There was one time he got upset at another boy in class. He took off all his clothes and got butt naked in school and tried to fight the kid, which is a very weird response. Apparently, in the American high school, he told his friends, hey, don't come to class May 1st. And everyone's like, why shouldn't we come to school? And he said, oh, I'm going to come in here armed, you know.
Are you kidding me?
He eventually goes, haha, just kidding. But his classmates did not feel like he was
No,
just
they
kidding,
cannot, Lemon.
Which, like, good for them, okay? They reported it to the teachers, Again, this is what you need to do. He immediately gets arrested. They go through his search history. Edward has been searching for ways to acquire an AK-47 or an AR-15.
What?
They also found in his house a bulletproof vest, professional crossbows with a scope and light, bullets, like over 1,000
What?
bullets, ear protectors for shooting, and they concluded he had plans for a terrorist attack.
This is in high school.
Yes, and Dee and her husband finally fly into the US, but they're convinced that the FBI doesn't know the difference between a prop and the real thing. Dee tries to reason that this is all one big misunderstanding and these are props for
Girl.
Halloween. They're not. He had hidden 1,600 rounds of bullets. What do you mean? He had parts to be assembled into a rifle and a pistol. The sheriff involved said, look, the only reason that someone hoards that much ammunition at that age, either they have serious mental illnesses, or they're really planning something, or both, and they're both very bad outcomes either way. Edward is thrown into jail. He's facing a trial in the US. His parents sell their houses in Taipei. They hire the best attorneys for their son. They're spending a ton of money handling the bail. In the end, he's sentenced to 4 to 23 months in prison.
Damn, that's
and he
it.
waived all his rights in America. So they're basically saying, we're going to give you low prison time, and you can literally never come back. Bye. This is a big freaking deal, and this guy is not even fazed. I guess because he knows his parents are going to do anything for him, he's just smiling, like he has no regrets.
Bro.
Later, journalists ask him, what do you want to say? He just says, I just want to watch anime.
Wow, this is terrifying.
Yeah.
And then the mom's attitude is what? Like,
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is the worst part. The mom says he was just joking around when he said he was going to do that May 1st.
Girl.
And these are like Halloween props that he has.
No.
I feel like, God forbid, like something happens.
She would still be on his side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she will still be in denial.
Yeah. I don't understand how parents can be in that deep of denial. I mean, maybe it's because I have parents that nitpick a lot of small
think
things I do, but she's
Yeah,
crazy.
I think she's already fucked up herself. You know, even the way that she said
And she's
that
physically assaulted.
yeah, she's assaulting everyone,
Yeah.
justifying in her head. And now that with this son, it amplifies into the son, right?
This is so weird.
So
it's just
crazy.
Weird. If you have kids, leave it in the comments because my sister has kids, and if my sister's kids do anything, and it's like nothing, it's like what all kids do when they're growing up. My sister, it takes it so personally. She's like, it's a self-reflection moment.
Yeah.
She feels like she's the worst mom in the world. She did something wrong. She's not doing everything correctly. But this mom is like, no, everybody else is crazy. It's a Halloween prop. So after serving 9
It's
months,
so
Edward is
unhinged.
deported to Taiwan, never allowed back in America again. And the two parents, Dee and her husband, they're interviewed, and they don't care. The worst part is they just still don't realize how bad this is. Even when Edward is coming back into Taiwan, he's getting journalists, but he's acting like they're paparazzi. He's acting like he's a K-pop idol at the Incheon airport.
What do you mean? Like,
Sir.
Like, he just has a hat and glasses on. He's just like, don't look at me. Yeah, and his dad does an interview where he says he's just an ignorant child. He just said one thing wrong. He was being punished to this extreme
Girl.
extent. He's a really bright and kind-hearted kid.
No.
wow.
Yeah, it's very scary. I mean, his dad just keeps saying he's just a baby, just a baby.
Just a baby.
How old is he?
In high school. Since then, he's just been living his best life in Taiwan. He's become an internet celebrity. I also think that some people in
What the
Taiwan
hell?
didn't take it as seriously. But like in America, you're talking about, yeah. So I think some people didn't understand the cultural context. Most people did, and most people were upset with or without cultural context, right? But he still became like an internet celebrity somehow. Basically, he's been in a series of high-profile relationships with other internet celebrities, and one glaring trend is that he's into dating older women. In 2019, he dated an
I wonder
internet
why.
celebrity who's 9 years older than him. Apparently, the two fell in love at first sight. He's looking for a mom. I don't know what else to tell you. His qualifications for a great life partner are someone who likes to help and take care of people, someone who cooks well and is good at chores. You're looking for a maid. You're looking for a mom. Like, what? She was actually approved by Dee, this girlfriend, which I'm sure is really hard to get approval like that. She probably thinks the only person good enough for her son is, like, Kim Yuna. And, like, ma'am, your son is in between opportunities. Ma'am, you're not jobless by choice. Why would she want your son? People thought it was gonna be this happily ever after with this new girlfriend. Edward is being taken care of, not just by his mom, but his beautiful girlfriend who loves him, babies him, and it's great until he comes home one day and he said, "Hey guys, I'm so sorry. I got another girl pregnant." He was cheating on her. He got
Okay.
another influencer pregnant. The affair clearly went too far, but it's fine because I love you, mommy. I mean, honey. I love you, babe. I mean, mommy. I mean, wait, which one? We don't know. The
Oh my
influencer
God.
eventually terminates her pregnancy. Edward goes back to his girlfriend, which, by the way, the whole situation is handled so bizarrely. Edward goes on to interviews to talk about the relationship, and he said it was because he wasn't allowed to go out until 18. He lost his virginity at 18 and got carried away. And, yeah, the mistress told him she had an IUD and she wouldn't get pregnant. And the interviewer is like, "So you got tricked." And he ends the interview. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm still a piece of garbage. And everyone was like, "This is really weird." So he goes back to his actual girlfriend and
This is really weird.
Oh, by the way, the mistress came to the girlfriend once and was like, "Could you get your man to stay away from my house?
Oh.
Tell him not to come over, it's so exhausting."
Wow. So they are all influencers.
Yeah, and it's all so messy.
What
It's so messy, and
even?
things were just never the same again. The girlfriend couldn't take it anymore. They broke up for good. She said she was mentally, physically exhausted and could not be a mom any longer.
Oh, she said that?
Yeah,
She
and-
said she was a mom.
And after this, there's just a mental break. He breaks into that family's home in Thailand while high on drugs. He gets arrested, and while
What exactly happened? Like,
he just has a breakdown. It just seems like
he
he's
was
spiraling.
in Thailand?
Yeah, he visits Thailand, and then somehow acquires weed, starts smoking it.
What even?
Maybe other things, I don't know, because then he breaks into a random person's house and then gets arrested. He doesn't resist arrest. He's just
Because he was on weed?
See, that's why people think it wasn't weed. It was probably something
Right.
worse, but we don't have proof of that. Because the way he's behaving on the CCTV footage,
It doesn't seem like weed.
feel reminiscent of someone who's high on weed.
Yeah, does it happen? Like,
Yeah, and then
kinda weird.
when he's in the back of the police truck, he's just like, he's staring at the sky. He's zoning out.
So he went in there and what
God,
else?
so weird.
He didn't do anything. Just walking around naked.
Oh, he took off his clothes.
Yeah.
And just walked around.
Yeah, just like staring at family photos.
And then left.
Wiped his face on the cloth. Took off his swim trunks. And then they called the police. They took him out of the house, arrested him.
And then what
That's so
happened?
weird.
Dee gets him out of that. Nothing happens. She said, "Look, my son
We're definitely
is
gonna have to
possessed.
finish
He
the
doesn't
inside of the
eat, he
house on the
doesn't
next
sleep. He always
stream.
wants to run outside."
Possessed, she said?
Yeah, he wants to self-exit.
Whoops.
So, they blame it on the girlfriend.
After
They
hours
say
stream to
after
finish.
the girlfriend broke up with him, he's been having a mental breakdown and he's possessed by heartbreak. He's just a pure boy that's possessed by heartache, and
Okay.
it's just a lot. Edward posts on Instagram a selfie. "My family has issues. They blame my ex-girlfriend for it. Poor me." And he goes on to tell the public that his
What?
parents are making him lose his mind.
So he's like, what, 23, 24?
Yes. They break up. He's doing all these other things, like random things here and there. He's an internet celebrity, goes to Thailand. This happens. His parents go on this whole tour of like, he's possessed. He's not.
He's
he wasn't on
possessed.
drugs, he's just possessed. This is heartache. And they're basically blaming the ex-girlfriend for breaking up with him. And he goes on Instagram and he starts saying, "My parents are crazy, okay? They're blaming my ex-girlfriend, but that's not the truth. Just life sucks." And he's saying in Thailand, when
No.
his parents came to save him, his dad kept giving him poison water. It's called Fulu water. Look, I don't know. Okay, this is what I can gather. Don't
What?
shoot the messenger. I'm trying my best. In Taoism in China, there is a strong belief that everything on earth should live in harmony, that everything needs to be balanced. They believe in yin and yang, and everything has matching pairs, and everything needs to work out together. People who believe in Taoism believe to be healing the sick. They get these spiritual paper talismans, they burn them, they light them on fire, soak it in water, and then you drink the water. Now, a lot of health
Okay.
officials have said maybe that's not the best thing because paper talismans, they have tons of chemicals on them. I mean, like any paper, and then when you burn it, it's a carcinogen, because, you know, and you have to burn it first before you mix in the water, and it's just not advised to be drinking by a lot of doctors. I'm sure it can work. I
That's
don't
not
know.
surprising,
I don't know
yeah.
anything. But on paper, it's not a good idea health-wise. Edward is alleging that his parents are freaking out in Thailand, believing he's possessed from heartache or his ex-girlfriend or whatever. So they kept making him drink Fulu water just nonstop. He said every single bottle that they gave him was Fulu water. He said the second I drank it, it was so bitter. I realized it was Fulu water. I did not consent to it. It's so bitter. How can this even be good for me? This is called poisoning.
That's so weird.
Yeah. And so eventually he comes back to Taiwan, and some people feel bad for him.
I do
Others
kind of
hate
feel
the whole
bad for him.
family. Others say maybe if he gets time away from his mom, like all of this feels like a direct reflection of the parenting style. It's just all mixed, but he does seem unhinged. He apparently got a manager to handle his social media presence. He says he wants to create a Save the World campaign where he will show off everyone his super cool weapons and knives and save the world. I don't know what that means.
What?
But I feel like someone's got to tell the authorities or something, okay? Because that's just weird. But anytime someone reports him,
Someone's
he gets
gotta tell the
investigated.
authorities.
His parents hire the best attorneys money can buy, and they keep it moving. Nothing happens, and his smirk gets bigger and bigger every single time. And he's a rapper now. He goes onto Instagram Live to rap. He's wearing an unbuttoned Hawaiian shirt, just body checking his abs before rapping, which, side note, I don't know if I can consider this rapping, because for the first 30 seconds, it just sounds like a giant run-on sentence than a rap.
25岁的时候，我就会干大事，所有人都会知道我是台湾钢铁人。
It's the weakest rap I've ever heard. When I'm 25 years old, I'll do something big. Alarming. Everyone will know I'm Taiwanese Iron Man. But you just don't know my plan and vision yet. When I speak Mandarin, I will become so fluent. Fluent to the point where everyone will think I'm on drugs and high. They will think I need to check into a mental hospital. Everyone likes a smart man, but they don't like who says the truth. That made me think, what the f? You want the truth and you want a smart ass. What do you want? Please, you all. Taiwanese people, pick one. Even my parents can't stop me. Got some respect for my own father. That's why I'm not telling everything. So I didn't expose all the truth. Yes, there are actually more dark secrets. You just don't know them yet. Always, always strong. Only getting stronger and stronger every day.
Man,
Bish, what?
It's just so sad.
Yeah.
It's just such a tragedy.
It's like, I think I would feel more sympathy for him, but
There.
it's also
Okay.
very scary. He seems very dangerous.
Yeah,
he
can
does.
tell.
Yeah, like
And the parents, they need to be like,
they're not helping him. They're making it so much worse. I think I felt a lot of sympathy when he was growing up, and then now it's like, okay, this sympathy is
All right,
more
time
so
to get
just
some pumpkins up in
someone's
this
gotta do
bitch.
something. This is worrisome. And he's been doing these reality shows now here and there, and he gets into physical fights. At one point, he started choking another celebrity on the show, holding their neck.
like actually trying to hurt them.
Yeah, and the other celebrity slapped them in the face. That's where we are right now. What are your thoughts? Do you think he will get help, or you think it's impossible because no matter what people do, the parents are going to keep intercepting? So
Yeah,
scary.
This is scary. I
Bruh.
don't know. Like he's 25, you said? 24, 25?
24, yeah.
Yeah, he got a whole life in front of him. Like, that's just, yeah, scary.
And then I do think eventually his parents' money will run out. No?
Okay, we
And,
got
like,
30
that's
minutes
also-
left.
'cause,
Can we
you
find
know,
something short for us to listen
right
to?
now, I wonder if it's a situation of he's distracting himself with maybe monetary stuff. But if that ever runs out, like, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments. Did you know about this case? They call him Taiwan's biggest mama boy. Let me know in the comments. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.
Moral of the story, don't date a mama's boy. Lol. I mean... Oh my god. Okay, we'll decompress. I guess that's not really like something we have to fully decompress from, but... We'll end with some Am I the Asshole? And then... I will take a quick break. I'll upload some content. Oh my god, my voice. I'll upload some content. Then I'll swap over the family stream. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do for Halloween yet. I got started late. Yeah. Here, the video we'll watch is 20 minutes in between. Here. I will link you really fast. Speed decorate the outside of this. I'm definitely gonna take more time though. Just cause I'm gonna take more time in the next stream to decorate the outside, I think. Just cause it's fun to decorate the outside, you know? Anyway, I'm not gonna do a countdown for this one because there's something to look at, so I'm just gonna play it. Here we go.
Hey Waffle Gang, I do
Alright,
you
pumpkins.
well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from Always Angry Fox.
I made it difficult on myself by making this all.
Reddit and says, had to call the police on my boomer neighbor.
And I don't have the tool mod installed, so this is gonna be really fun and difficult.
It escalated last week. I'm a single female living in an apartment complex. It's me and my dog. My neighbor across the hall is an old grumpy creeper boomer I've never liked since the day he moved in. He keeps junk outside his door, doesn't control his guests, throws food and trash into the common areas, and once even tried to swing at my dog with his cane. He's always made me feel extremely uncomfortable around him since day one. I've complained and complained to management, but they do nothing about him. He plays dumb when confronted, then goes back to whatever it was. About a year ago, he started taking my packages.
Dude.
I'd come home to no package and have to wait for him to appear to get my stuff. Constantly, I told him to leave my packages alone. He
That
always
would piss
says,
me off
I'm
so
trying
bad.
to help you out. Now, I've never had a package stolen in this building. Never. I've had them delivered to wrong addresses, but never stolen. This went back and forth for a full year. It would even take them when I was home. I literally opened my door one day to collect my package, only to see him nearly bolting out of his apartment to get it. He saw me and just said, "Oh, you're home." Then went back inside. I had enough and bought a camera.
Bro.
The camera seemed to deter him as he doesn't like it.
That would piss me off
Last week,
so
I was
bad.
expecting a book to be delivered. Mailman drops it off, waves to the camera and leaves. Boomer opens his door. He stares at my package for several minutes before trying to take it into his apartment. I get on the intercom and yell at him to put my
What the
stuff in.
fuck?
He drops it. No more than 10 minutes later, he comes back out and takes the package again. I had enough. I got off work early, came home and called the police. I out, watched the video I recorded.
Okay, I was literally just about to say I would call the
Same
cops.
excuse as always. I'm trying to be helpful. I never asked him to start taking my packages. The officer gave him a warning saying if he took anything else from my door, I could press charges against him and he would be arrested. Boomer is pissed. My camera also records audio, and I could hear him complaining to his niece that I didn't need to call the cops, and again, he's looking out for me. I would feel safer with a tiger actively stalking me in the woods. That's my story. I wanted to share it. I got my book and had the best evening reading.
Okay, I feel like that's gotta be
Apocalypse
better.
Joe says to this one, file a complaint with the USPS 2. What he's doing is a federal crime.
Yeah.
We don't take that shit lightly. Striking Piano says, unfortunately, I think you're going to have to involve the police again. But you've already won. The boomer knows that there will be consequences. The police told him so, directly. But being a boomer, he won't be able to help himself. The boomer is so full of self-righteousness that he will literally have to help you again. Then you've got him.
So unhinged.
Another commenter says it sounds like he's trying to force an interaction with you, or it's some kind of weird power play. You're doing the right thing. He can stop. Shark says to the OP, so assuming he takes a package, does he come over to try to give it to you? Is he trying to get an invite in? OP says when he wants to. Basically, he takes the package, then leaves. He goes off to do whatever it is he does, and I have to wait for him to come home. Bang on his door and get my package. Sometimes he would try to invite me while he finds it, but I always decline. Awfully creepy it sounded at the moment, I've got to be honest. I would love to say it was just a neighbor being nice, but come on, it's not in this situation, is it? But OP came in and said, so I contacted my building's management company on Monday. Someone called me back today and I explained the situation all over again. She genuinely laughed at me over the phone. Oh honey, he's just old, he's helping you. I wish someone would take my packages for me. She even said he might view me like a granddaughter. I did take some glee informing her my grandparents on both sides are all dead and I don't need new ones.
What the fuck?
When I said the incident recorded, she told me that they would send someone to talk to him. nothing will be done as always. Good news is I think he's learned his lesson. Had 2 packages delivered early this morning and he hasn't touched them. He walked past and looked at them multiple times, but hasn't touched them. Hopefully the police gave him the scare I could not. I've typed up a letter for the management company explaining that if another package is stolen, I will not only press charges against my neighbor, but the building as well for ignoring my complaints. Maybe that will get their attention. Thanks for all the support. That's so frustrating to have the people
That's so fucking annoying. Like, what the hell?
Just going, oh, honey, he's helping you. No.
Like, no, he's not.
Helpful, you know, when you told him that you didn't want it no more, he would have stopped there and then, not continued doing so and forcing to escalate things further. But what do you guys make of this situation? Have you ever had a neighbor that oversteps trying to insert themselves into your life? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. And you know what I'm like once I get a neighbor story. I need another one. I need another one. This one comes from Ginger Dominion, who says, neighbors shed in roaches on our property, preventing us from building our house. How do I get this finally removed after battling him for a year? My dad owns a vacant but desirable property in New York. Neither of us currently reside there. He's passing the property along to me so I can build a house to live there. The property has been in my family since 1937. It took about $10K for him to get the title cleaned up with a lawyer. Last spring, I had a survey done that showed the neighbor's shed encroaches on the property by about 7 feet. Setback is 12 feet, so needs to move around 19 feet back.
Right, let's see if this works.
Said to my surveyor that my dad should just sell him the land. With this encroachment, my dad is unable to pass along a clean title to me. Without a clean title, I'm not able to secure a home building loan. I was going to work with a neighbor to amicably remove the
Right, I
shed,
hate when people are like, oh, I'm just trying to help you. Like, girl, did I ask you for your help? No? No, I didn't ask for help? Cool, then fuck off.
$100 a week. He also does not have a permit for this shed, which is necessary per the town's code of any structure over 120 square foot requiring a permit. Since I didn't live there, I got the city involved. The building inspector told him to remove the shed from our property. Neighbor ignored and refused for about 5 months.
Nice.
Then the building inspector had the city attorney write him a letter in January, giving him 60 days to respond. The inspector has not given us a copy of the letter. We've requested it multiple times now, so I'm unsure of what all was said in the letter. I've also requested that the inspector enforces the penalties, as well as an injunction to padlock his shed for further use. Those requests were ignored as well. We didn't hear back for about 90 days from the neighbor after the attorney's letter, but he agreed to move the shed. Woohoo, right? He then said that we need to get the surveyors to pin where he should move his shed so he doesn't have to do it twice.
Where'd it go?
We have 3 different surveys of the property, and there are pins at each corner. I called our surveyor and it'd be $700 to mark where he should move the shed. I felt that I shouldn't be responsible for getting his shed into compliance. This is his violation, and I've been patiently waiting and delaying an entire year. I don't care if he isn't within the full mean of the 12 feet setback. He just needs it off my property to appease me at this point. Initially, I was willing to get the surveyor out again and pay for it, but my concern is that if we do that, he's still not going to move it in a timely manner and keep moving the goalposts for us. Neighbor even said it would take 5 months after we pin the property. I don't know why he thinks it will take 5 months to move the shed. I called around and got a quote from Shed Movers, and one said they'd do it next week for $575. I've got a lawyer in my back pocket. It will be my last-ditch effort. It's expensive. A letter alone will be $1,500. It will take a long time. So I don't love that idea. He said we could do a revocable license for the bit of land, but I'm not giving the neighbor anything at this point. I want to put a driveway and definitely a fence there now too, so I'll need that land. At this point, I can understand why my neighbor is being a jerk. He wants to get away with whatever he can. But I can't understand why the building inspector is letting him get away with everything. Why no penalties? Why no injunctions? He was very unhappy when I called the town clerk and asked for more information because the inspector doesn't answer mine. He's been so ineffective on this, and it's having real repercussions for us. We're renting in the HCOL area that we don't like, and would love to have made progress this year to move ASAP. The neighbor should have racked up at least $4,400 in penalties so far, an additional 2K for the 5 months he wants to tack on. I feel like that would invoke actual pressure for him to move it, right? So, what is my next step here to get this done ASAP? Is there someone above the inspector with the city that can help me with this? How can I get the town to actually enforce the movement of this shed and its penalties without being such wet noodles about it? Any ideas?
Good luck.
And just to clear it up, I had to Google afterwards. HCOL stands for High Cost of Living Area. And look, I don't know all the laws and all this sort of stuff, but I was annoyed when he said that you should get the surveyors to pin where he should move his shed so he doesn't have to do it twice. You know, that's his responsibility.
Yeah,
he
that's
should
so
know where
annoying.
his land is so he can put his shed in the right position. But Bythog says the same thing and says it's his responsibility to have the shed moved within the compliance of the law, not yours. He can get the surveyor to mark things for you or move it so far away from the property line he has no chance of being on yours. Ginger says thank you. I've stated this so many times to the building inspector and they keep putting the onus back on me to pin it. I'm so frustrated at this point, but I feel validated you said that. Zombie Jet Pilot says go outside of the inspector. Go talk to the council rep for your area and tell them how many months you've been waiting and that this guy isn't doing crap or suffering any consequences. They likely care a lot more.
Slowly
and
building a pile of pumpkins.
Seriously, at what point wouldn't the town just say, move it or we will, and then we'll bill you for it? OP says, yeah,
it's weird.
Love the idea to talk to the council rep, and I agree. I don't know how this hasn't just been done yet, or at least penalised. This whole situation has made me feel like I'm crazy and being a whiny brat about it all. But this thread is making me feel much more validated. Hardly Working replies to that saying, you're not a whiny brat for expecting your neighbour to keep his property off of your property. When I had an issue that wasn't getting resolved, I found contacting the mayor was most effective. My council rep didn't do shit, but I think that depends on the person. State senators and state reps can also be helpful. You have been patient enough. Keep going over everyone's head until it gets resolved and do not feel bad about doing it. Someone says, it's on your family's property. I'll burn it down.
Lol.
Is that legal? OP comes in with an update and says, so a few weeks back I went to Home Depot and we bought a Sawzall. I don't know if that's
Wait, again with the fucking cars,
We went to
dude.
the neighbour's property in the
Not
middle
the
of the night
Sawzall.
and... Nah, not really. For all you burn it downers and Sawzall it sayers, my attorney said by no means do anything like that. He said do not touch it in any way ever. Did OP actually approach the lawyer to ask about this? Anyway, so thank you to everyone for the solid and rational advice of talking to attorneys, and as frustrating as it is, utilising our government resources as recounted below. So I escalated this with the town and bothered them to no end. I got all the way up to the town supervisor. He was very frustrated on my behalf. I told him I've been dealing with this situation for a year, that the neighbour has been told to move the shed by the inspector and town attorney, and that I've already had 3 surveys of the land to prove the encroachment, and that the property is probably demarcated with pins. He asked why the building inspector was having yet another surveyor go out there, and he said he would just have someone measure where the shed needs to be moved using the survey. He says he will personally get involved in this and will give neighbour 1 week to get his shed moved. I get a call back with him later that day with a junior building inspector taking direction from the senior inspector while he's out of town on the line, and womp womp. He totally changes his tune. He said I have to get a surveyor to go out there to pin the property line again, but specifically next to the
Not
shed.
that again.
They could never answer me why it was my responsibility to pin a specific spot on my property
That's so
for a shed
annoying.
that shouldn't exist there in the first place, solely for the benefit of the neighbour figuring out how far back to move his shed to get it into compliance. I'm fuming now, and I also figured out that the senior inspector forgot that I had sent him the 3rd survey showing the encroachment in the spring, which should have began the penalty violations. He also didn't provide that to the neighbour who needed it and had been asking for it. He just thought I didn't provide the survey. Even the junior inspector was embarrassed and frustrated for his lack of help and thoroughness with my case. At this point, I'm still adamant that I don't want to get another surveyor out there. It would just take too long. I talked to a lawyer that would be less expensive than a surveyor and pretty much said this was a slam dunk win that would enforce the removal ASAP. We're still trying to tread lightly though, so we don't piss off my future home's building inspector too much with the threats of using an attorney. But we desperately need results.
Why is it
My dad's an
terrifying?
engineer. and comes up with an idea that we present to the junior inspector. We use the shed as the property line pin to mark the setback for the neighbor. The shed is shown on the survey and we can see where the property line crosses through the shed. So we just need to measure and mark those places in real life. It's stupidly simple and similar to an idea I mentioned months ago about measuring the setback from the shed, but they approved it. I used the survey's CAD files to set up the measurements for where to pin the property line and 6-foot setback lines.
There we go.
In my last post, the setbacks were at 12 foot, but changed at some point that month. Another piece of information that the building inspector forgot to mention to me. When my dad and husband went out to go mark the shed using line of sight, they met up with a neighbor, and he was so unbelievably nice. Mind you, we've all been blocked, ignored, had our no trespassing signs taken down, and I've been told in the past that we should just sell him the property.
Not that.
Now he's making friends with my husband, giving him a tour of his house, talking Scotch, sharing contractor info with him, etc.
The fuck?
I'm baffled hearing this and don't trust it, but welcome it for the moment. Then my husband tells me the neighbor's wife is rude to him and pissed that we didn't get the additional survey. Didn't like that we're doing it this way, etc. The neighbor hushes her and she goes off to pout the rest of the day.
So it's the wife.
That maybe the wife is the one doing all the blocking and snagging this up. The neighbor apparently had a heart attack earlier this year, so I wonder if she took over his communications. When this first started last year,
it's
they
the
mentioned
wife.
that they tried to buy our property so their son could live on it. Apparently it's just
The fuck?
her son, his stepson. I think she drove some of this conflict and he may be giving it up or just changing his tune after his heart attack. Ever since then, he's been friendly towards us, which I'm relieved about. So, after the pinning of the property line and marking the 6-foot setback, the building inspector approved our work. And then we gave the neighbor another month to get this scheduled with a mover and finally moved. After about a month and a half, I didn't hear from the inspector, so we gave the town a call. It had been moved. We went forward with our final survey to confirm that our land is clear.
There we go. Making progress. Pumpkin progress.
Moved it 3.6 feet off the property
We are
line,
listening to an
short
Am I the
of
Asshole?
6 feet setback.
It is linked.
What the actual fuck? I got a letter today from the building inspector saying he passed it and the case is officially closed. I absolutely do not care that it is only 3.6 feet back instead of 6 feet. I'm just glad he's off my land and can now move forward. But seriously, I don't know how this got approved, but I'm in awe of the incompetence of the inspector.
So
I guess I just have to
ridiculous.
see what I can get away with too. Anyways, that's my shed saga. Thanks for reading.
So
Someone said to
ridiculous.
me after this one, I'm curious, is the new place a smaller town? I wonder if you're hitting rich person from out of town trying to bully our neighbours, and so building inspector thought he was doing some favour to said neighbours, especially with the whole heart attack thing. Opie says it's a smaller town, but that's definitely not how the situation went down. We're not giving rich person vibes at all, because we're not. I haven't been a bully either. I've tried to work with everyone, but I've gotten stonewalled. The building inspector was initially gung-ho to get him off the property. It just devolved with sloppiness and laziness. I just
Weird.
found out about the heart attack recently, but I would have absolutely had compassion to give them time to figure it out. They've just taken advantage of the situation at every corner they could. Someone said your neighbor knows somebody that has high rank at the code enforcement department. I don't think
Probably,
it's
yeah.
incompetence. Something is shady
Oops.
about this whole thing. Observer says you need to challenge the approval. Go to a town meeting and complain. Let the board know their inspector approved something not aligned with the code. They need to do it by the code. I guarantee you aren't going to get to circumvent the codes. Opie says, yeah. I was going to put it all into writing to document it, but I don't feel like inserting myself into it anymore. Do you see potential issues with that down the line? Observer replies saying yes. What happens when they want to build on or add another out structure? They've
Yeah.
established the 3.5 setback. It's 6 foot for a reason. Also, the town or the neighbours will let you violate the setback. The rules are there for a reason and they need to be followed. Go to your next town council meeting and let them know. They won't be happy that their inspectors aren't following the codes. It exposes them to liability and future claims of discrimination. I'd say if my neighbour doesn't have to follow the setback codes, do I? They will get it correctly quickly. The council needs to instruct the
seriously.
inspector to take the blame for his mistake. What town and state is this? OP says, yeah, I kind of wondered how much I even need to follow the rules around there if no one seems to enforce them. Apparently my neighbour's neighbour on the other side has an encroaching shed on my neighbour's property. They let it go, but in their case it doesn't hold them up from building a house. So maybe it's just a lawless land. This is in upstate New York.
Oh, it's upstate New York.
No, but I don't think another structure on my property will be an issue because I fully intend to get a big old fence. And I was kind of with OP after this, you know, after dealing with this for such a long time, the headaches that it's been causing, etc., that, you know, let's just move on for it. I can't be asked to deal with that 3 foot of land or whatever. But like that comment said, what happens if they do build another outhouse on the same line? You know, I guess it can cause all sorts of issues, so that commenter was right. Although it's a pain in the ass. But I wonder if OP can sort of claim back on all the stuff that they've had to pay for and, you know, dealing with all these solicitors, etc. as well. It just sounds like a nightmare. And why didn't they just move it back the full 6 foot to begin
So many
with anyway? You know, they're
pumpkins.
moving the shed anyway. Why not just the full 6 foot? Is it just sort of like ignorance? Are they actually trying to get a rise out of OP now? What's the issue here? It does feel like someone knows someone in like town hall or whatever it is where these people are. What do you guys make of this situation? What would you do? Would you fight that addition?
No, at the end already.
Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below.
It went back so
Just a huge
fast.
thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting
It's not
involved in today's
fair.
stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so, so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Ah, fuck. God damn it. I don't want to end stream. I guess I'm gonna stream on Fansly in like not that long, but still. That's not flying, right? Okay. Well, chat. We are gonna continue building our spoopy house. Spooky Halloween house. Ooh, even better. Even better lighting for this. Anyway, we're gonna keep building this over on the Fansly stream. I am gonna dip for like an hour and upload stuff. And then I will start the Fansly stream and I'll see you guys over there. Oh god, I'm tired. Yeah, I'm gonna go make soup or something. And then I'll join you back here. But let me save this before I give my computer a break here. You know, I'm just gonna give my computer a break, shut the game down while we're waiting. But yeah, I will see you guys in an hour. It won't be very long. As in, like, I won't be gone very long. And then I'll be back. And we'll do another 3 hours. Another baby stream. And then, I will bid you adieu. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna be able to film tomorrow. I was able to film yesterday. I wasn't able to film today, though. Because I was dying, and then obviously I'd stream, but I needed to film a few things, so we'll see. I'm probably just gonna have to do it on Sunday. So see you guys in an hour over on Fansly. Otherwise, I will see you guys next week on here. Woo! Huzzah! Yay! All right. See you over there. Enjoy the outro. See you in a bit. Bye. Thank you if you hung out. Thank you if you liked. Thank you if you subscribed. Thank you if you joined. Okay, bye.